You have a photo here of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and that of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Some very, very interesting story I saw yesterday with Ghana declining South Africa's president's visit. Ghana taking a tough stance on the back of xenophobic attacks. That's a big one. We'll get into that story later. But also on the front page of the paper, woman 61 gives birth in Accra. This must lighten up the day of many people here in Ghana. If you're there, you probably would appreciate the story a lot bigger. Woman 61 gives birth in Accra. The full story is on page 13 of the newspaper, the Daily Graphic, this morning. And sometimes some of these stories have a way of, just lightening up your day like that. Go Force Foundation, World Vision provide water for Damang community. The full story is on page 16. And government unveils renewable energy plan. The full story is on page 13 of this newspaper. To the front page of the news center, you have Water for Damang, a partnership that delivered. The full story is on page 12. In 2026, we provide pipe-borne water, and the full stories on the front pages of newspapers. Charlie sad. 94.6 million wasted under Green Ghana. That story is also on the front page of the paper. Government officials under probe over 208 million meth scandal. The full story is on page 3. Here we blew a lot of money and we steal a lot of money as well. Court strikes out false case against Sanandeep Singh Hari. That story is on the front page of the news center. The full story is on page 7 of the paper. To the new publisher newspaper, dead men on payroll. 4 ghosts chopped 7.4 million for 7 years. They are dead. They died in 2019. The kind of things we do in this country. Maybe the fire that King Nebuchadnezzar was trying to use to burn Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that one should even be small. How we paid 4 people who died in 2019. I saw that story trending on social media yesterday. 4 people who died since 2019. They were paid to 2026 and they were paid 7.4 million Ghana cedi. You're asking yourself, where did that money go? And who was supposed to be doing the supervisory work on these payments? But these things happen in Ghana. It's no news. Finance Ministry delivers 700 million euro bonds settled ahead of schedule. And then also on the front page, those one, I'm sure many have their reservations as to whether it was right for the minister to have put this information out that 1,300 security applicants have HIV. Oforisapon becomes Unimark's first chancellor. That's also here. The full story is on page 6 of this paper. And Ramaphosa visits snapped minority seeks clarity. That's also here. To the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper, 1,300 security recruitment applicants test HIV positive, and the Fija sector east of the NPP in the Ashanti region, together with Asante Achim central elections, have been suspended. And then still on the front page, minority demands details of Ramaphosa's deferred visits. There's a photo here on the deputy ranking spokesperson for the NPP in Parliament on Foreign Affairs. And will doesn't make Akofina Crystal Asafo leader, according to lawyer Kwabna Ekufu. That story on the Crystal Asafo issues going back and forth. Let's get into the Republic Press newspaper. State visit saga. South Africa brushes off Ghana, pretends all is well. There's a photo here of President Cyril Ramaphosa. And NAFCO takes new turn with a case involving former CEO Abdul Hanan Wahab. 1,300 recruitment applicants test HIV positive. That story also appears to have found its way onto the front page of a lot of papers this morning. To the Daily Just newspaper, Kwadwo Safo children reject Akofina's Crystal Asafo leadership. The full story is on page 3. Is it about rejection or is it about what daddy wants? Okay, we'll leave the lawyers to fight it out concerning the will. CID invites TikToker for claiming Mahama buried 32 live cows for power. I saw the video last week and I remember someone wrote under the video, can she prove it? Well, maybe she has some proof. I do not know. EC staff bare teeth at chairperson. The full story is on page 3. And Auditor General uncovers 42.6 million rots at MMDAs. Also on the front page, government officials indicted in Australia drug scandal. The full story is on page 4. And Alpha Hour Church gets 12 months jail. That's an arsonist there. Someone who tried to burn up the place. To the Supreme newspaper, global investors converge on Accra as Ghana pushes 24-hour economy agenda at trade week. Akofena is not the leader of the Christian Mission. Will does not determine church leadership, according to lawyer Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang. Samuel Uswang Amankwa calls for unity, peace ahead of Ayawaso West Polls, and Ernesto Furia Sapon named as the new Unimac Chancellor. Also on the front page of the paper, you have a picture here of the CEO of the Afro-Arab Group, the expansion strategy of the organization. There's a photo of the CEO here who we understand is doing very well in the electrical business in Ghana. To the front page of the Informer newspaper, economists recommends more funds for MMDAs. There's a photo here of Professor Peter Korte with ISA. Also on the front page, NPP slams Mahamas Museum locomotives. Rural authorities fight back. And toxic dam horror at Malam threatens malaria, cholera, and typhoid fever. That story is on page 4 of this paper. Phase 7 visits. Mahama snaps Ramaphosa over xenophobic attacks. There's a photo here of the South African leader, and that's of the Ghanaian leader. Also on the front page of the paper, you have drugs, alcohol won't solve problems. Doctor warns. And then you have HCSS 2026 awards. Zoom Lion honored. Okay. Let me do a few more newspapers. On the front page of the Daily Searchlight, you have 1 step forward, 1,000 step backwards. Rawlins's infamous tribunals are coming back as Ayine lays bill before Parliament. Also on the front page of the paper, Ghana Water Limited announces 24-hour shutdown of Dodowa booster station for maintenance works. And 35 people died in floods, 6 still reported missing. And then you also have on the front page, controversy over Ramaphosa visits threatens to overshadow bilateral ties. The full story is on page 9. And 10 public institutions fail to pay 5.2 billion in taxes. To the front page of the Metro Lens newspaper this morning, Ramaphosa persona non grata in Ghana. The full story is on page 8. And 1,300 recruits test HIV positive. The story is on page 3 of this paper. Akofena notes Krista Safo leader, according to lawyer Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang. These are the stories on the front page of that paper. Let me wrap up with the Meridian newspaper. Akofena is not the leader of the Krista Safo Mission. Will does not determine church leadership, according to lawyer Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang. It looks like these days quite a number of stories on the front pages of the newspapers are literally same everywhere. ECG 9 state institutions owe 3 billion in taxes, and global investors converge on Accra as Ghana pushes 24-hour economy at trade week. Let me quickly do some stories from the Class FM online portal and that of the High Street Journal as well. The Class FM online portal is reporting a number of stories. GRA interdicts 4 officers as here as one of the leading stories over alleged diversion of transit food consignments. Also on the Class FM online portal, over 1,300 security recruitment applicants tested HIV positive during medical screening. DVLA denies losing 308,300 in alleged mobile money theft case. Also here, Kolebu management seeks clarification on video by Misspell over alleged no-bed death. 29 killed, 6 unaccounted for in nationwide floods is also here. And woman 61 gives birth through stem cell enhanced IVF procedure. Okay, this story has a way of just lightening up your day. I mean, God is still doing amazing things. If Sarah gave birth at 90, 61, yeah, here in Ghana, it's a big thing. Bonka Tabansu to demolish 14 structures on waterways as Assembly steps up flood mitigation. Don't go and take away Davia mess container and leave the properties of the rich and the powerful in that enclave, Mr. MC or Mr. DC. 13 arrested by KMA Saman over poor sanitary practices in their homes. That is also here. And GFA strongly denies allegations of taking money from players for national team call-ups. Parliament suspends Friday sitting for MPs to join national flood cleanup. looking face people. And then after you finish cleaning on Friday, and then what? Those same people will go and build in waterways. Yeah. Those same people, those same 276 people will go and build in waterways, and then our buildings get flooded. Go and pull down Villaggio. Any here. Don't go and worry. Oh no. I don't even know anybody there. And only here, not Davia mess container in cleaning the streets. There are stories in the world of business, showbiz, of course, with sports these days. It's pretty much to do with the World Cup. Let me wrap up with the High Street Journal, and then we'll get into the stories here as well. The High Street Journal almost always has plenty stories. Yeah, plenty stories from everywhere. They must be employing about 200 writers.
Every time I check the site, it's loaded.
It's so packed.
And all the
wonder how they do
stories are so powerful.
Yeah. Especially with the editorials and the stories and the investigations that they do there.
I mean, it's a solid team put together.
They should hire me. I like writing.
It's important about why you alone.
They should hire me.
You alone.
To do galamsey. They should hire me to do galamsey. Okay, to the High Street Journal. The story has been there for some time, but I like it every time I see it. Why Ebri is fast becoming a hub for the rich and mighty. Charles, you need a property there. You need a property
it's important
too. You live too far from
Kwame.
Kwame. Stay with the big boys.
Kwame.
Stay with the big boys.
Prophesy over me.
Stay with the big boys.
It should come to pass.
Stop living in.
I love the
You
place.
live in the Eastern region and you come to work in Accra. Get closer.
But Ebri is also Eastern.
But that one you live with the rich. That one you live with the rich. Someone told me that on weekends, a lot of people do this climbing of the hill from Ayimensa
right
all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And the person was telling me, Charlie, when you wake up and you are sad, go and climb. You are either going to be motivated physically or you are going to be motivated financially.
No,
and
it's
I was
true.
like, as for the physical motivation, I know. But the financial one, I don't really know. And it was like, look, by the time you get up the hill, you'll be meeting the rich, the powerful and the mighty. And you also feel good that you are doing exercise.
You are associating with them. You are jogging with them.
The way I love that.
Saturdays on that stretch. Saturdays
just
on
walking.
That
I was like, Kwame, you have no idea how it feels like when you are walking with the rich and powerful.
I can relate.
He said you look to your left and then you see so and so minister, so and so CEO, and then some very powerful name that you've been reading about in the newspapers over the years, and they are walking by you, and some are even saying hello to you when they don't even know you from anywhere. They're like, it feels good.
Unless you don't know their faces. Once you know their faces, it's a good platform to also network, especially if you are a regular, someone who embarks on endurance regularly on Saturdays, Sundays. If you go there, it's a good platform.
If you live on that stretch, I think it's fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
If you live. But I know people who come from that far
that's true.
to do it on Saturdays.
That's true. So I had a cousin who, when he bought his first car, decided that every Saturday he would drive there. For whatever reasons, best known to him.
Oh yeah, I know people who do that. Because when you get there, you see loads of cars parked down there.
Yeah, he drives there not to participate in the endurance exercise,
but be personally motivated.
He knows why. Yes, the personal motivation.
It's very important.
And the other time, KOJ says that yes, it's motivated enough, especially when you go there to Ebri. Kwame,
it's very important. Yeah,
no, Kwame, we should do it a daily thing. For us, for you and I, we can go there to network.
I lived so far from the place, so what I do is once in a while, especially when it's a holiday. I normally do that on holidays. Once in a while, I have a group of friends. We would all go together.
And then let's go there, network, and bring them here, the big people. We will not go there to be motivated like that too. We are going there to bring the big people to motivate.
Sure. Who told you that is why you only the job in the top? That is also necessary. Those who climb the hill, they know what we are talking about. We are speaking in parables. If you climb the hill, you know what we are talking about. Sometimes
if you climb the hill,
if you climb, especially when you are climbing, and then you are seeing.
You are
descending
from behind.
And then when you are descending you are seeing from the
I know, right? I know. when you climb and you are there, of course, you are the apex.
I'm telling you.
You are looking down.
You can look down and
it
then
is
you
beautiful.
see.
And you see the different shades of human beings that we have. Kwame, it is motivating.
You see God's creation.
Yes.
My goodness.
It's beautiful.
God is good.
I am expecting some messages from some people to you this morning.
They know what we are talking about. Don't mind.
Kwame is motivating.
They are just pretenders.
It's motivating.
As if they don't watch.
Kwame, that thing is life.
You know what that thing does to you?
It's life.
You forget all your problems.
It's life. Especially looking at the fact that we go through a lot of stress. Oye has constantly been asking. So you men, when you are down, how do you motivate yourself? We women, when we are down, we know you guys are there to motivate us and keep us going, keep the family going. So as a man, when you are down, how do you keep yourself going? Charlie, sometimes you need to do this.
Go and climb the hill.
Charlie, don't stress yourself.
Climb the hill. As you climb, you take it easy. And then the good thing is that there are these guys.
By the way, roadside.
Depending on how far you go, we are selling some
coconuts and stuff like
and
that.
The fresh palmy. Not the fermented one. The fresh palmy. They are on the way there. So you get. Just a little, not much. You climb, and then when you get to the top, I don't know whether you are still allowed to exercise around the Pediasis stretch. It's been a while.
The Pediasis.
Yeah, when you get to the very top, Pediasis there. Sometimes I see people doing aerobics there, and then there are a few outlets on the other side of the road. So you see boys, but the boys who do that, they should. How can you climb? You go and do beer, and then you.
Kwame. Like it's funny, It's funny. Well, upon all the exercise you did, then you get to the top and you go and drink beer.
And do you know the other business that is up there?
Tell me.
Kusiani Meko.
Oh yeah, it's regular.
I don't know the combination with the Kusiani Meko and the
then
walking.
the exercise.
Like you get to the top and you see quite a number of them. They are selling the Kusiani Meko thing.
Kusiani Meko has become something that you can't do away with as a Ghanaian. And Kwame, even right here in Class FM.
the full business in this house.
Nweki, good morning to you this morning.
I didn't want to mention anything because you come for me.
And the way people patronize the Kusiani Meko.
No, it's that thing where you can't eat one. You're probably doing like two or three.
That's true.
You do one and there's appetite to do more.
Exactly.
If you don't take care, you do.
You know why I love it? Because of the pepper. That's all. I take in a lot of pepper. I've been advised by doctors. But I seem to be addicted to pepper. And my wife doesn't understand it. But in as much as he doesn't understand, she seemed to be coming along with me. I have tried to lure her to be on my side, to be eating pepper. It's a nice combination with pepper. But you see, the point is, if you are jogging around that area, jogging and pepper. I recall when we were at the training school, before we get to the square to train and what have you, pepper and all. In fact, pepper wasn't a part of our food. Pepper, salt, sugar, and all of those things, they were not a part of our food. So you are eating everything raw, because definitely it would worry you. Your cardio level is very important, because once you are embarking on such an exercise, you are building up your cardio. But if you take in pepper, it wouldn't be so good.
That's right.
So I don't know why that. Maybe they get to the top. I'm sure it should be for those who live within the area. They descend, climb. Once they get to the top, they know they are done. And so maybe. But Kwame, it's important. Maybe this Saturday we should go there.
Saturday, I'm not sure.
It is good to have beautiful sights, see beautiful
things, shine
nature,
your eyes,
and you see how it is, how clean the area is,
and it's a breath of fresh air.
Kwame.
Not the polluted one.
No.
In Accra,
it breathes beautiful. It breathes beautiful. There are
especially when you get to the top. And then you look, down.
You look down. Oh my God, creation is beautiful.
Just down there,
creation is beautiful.
Or Yarifal, those communities down there, and then you just admire God's creation. You admire the creation from the physical landscape, and then the geographical landscape, and the weather and all of that, and then you top it up with
You know what's on my mind now? My now Dr. Desmond Kofi Annan is listening somewhere.
I just about to he said, "Look at those jokers." I've been able to win them over.
Yeah. Charlie.
The exams is examining.
Yes. Whether you like it or yes. You see
I've not paid school fees for nothing. So be a lawyer.
Anyway, Kwame.
Anyway, let's get into our stories. Let's get into our stories. And four big stories in here for me. That story of Ghana snapping the Ramaphosa visit appears to be, I saw it somewhere late afternoon yesterday, and it wasn't too difficult to appreciate, that stance. And it's not. I've seen people use all kinds of words, snap, reject, name them, but for someone who has an international relations background, I think it had everything to do with timing. It's not like we don't want to have anything to do with the South Africans, but the timing of the visit was just not right. So respectfully, Ramaphosa can always visit Ghana whatever time he wants, whether privately or whether he's coming as president of the Republic of South Africa. It's just that with all that we are seeing on TV, I'm not too sure he's welcome in any of these countries, where not because they don't like him, because but the timing is not right.
Exactly, the timing is not right. Kwame, you've said it right. And with all that is happening in South Africa, the xenophobic attacks and what have you, you would expect that the president would have made certain comments, certain emphatic.
To be fair to him, he has.
Oh no, what did he say?
What we see on video and what we see on TV every day does not suggest that the authorities in South Africa are doing enough. He says that you can't take the law into your... He's saying all the right things, but after saying all the right things, they are not acting.
Kwame is just a smoke screen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They are not acting.
He's only doing something that would seem to portray him on the international platform as somebody who is handling things well in his country. But he was the same person who posted on Facebook also, or one of the platforms, that, look, the march-to-march demonstration embarked on by Jacinta and his people. Yes, he even announced the date on his platform. That yes, it's scheduled for this date, right? So I read it and I'm like, so what's it? What are you communicating as a president?
I think what he tried to suggest was that legally they can embark on the demonstration. What they cannot do is to take the law into their own hands and literally go attack people and say that is not their mandate.
Ramaphosa is a toothless bulldog, very toothless. You would expect a president of a nation, no less a nation like South Africa, Ramaphosa, to make certain statements and let his people know that really what is happening. Because you can't tell me that since this xenophobic incident started in South Africa, they've not killed some persons. And I tell you,
a Ghanaian has been killed.
What they are saying that it wasn't. They are saying that it's not linked to the xenophobic attacks or the demonstration by the March and March group, and that it was in a barber shop and it was some act of a robbery and all of that. They say all of those things. We hear them. But Kwame, I'm telling you that somebody not so far from me, an extended or external person in my family, who was living in South Africa. That story hasn't been told. I told you here that it is a story that I'm working on. A cousin, his mortal remains has been brought back to our hometown. He was shot there. Xenophobic attacks. And you are saying what? And the president has been silent all this while. So you are coming to Ghana to do what? I mean, go back to your country. We don't need you here.
I'm coming to plead.
No. We don't need you here. Yesterday I spoke to Farouk Al-Wahab here. Plead. Kwame, did I hear you say plead? Plead. So maybe. Okay, if you're coming to plead, it means that it's an admission that there's some fault on your part, isn't it? If he's coming to plead, then maybe Felix Fosukwati should let us know if he's coming to plead. Or we'll welcome him and give him the platform to plead to Ghanaians. And then after pleading, he should go back to his country and tell his people to do the right thing. You are the president. All the authorities of the land is vested in you as the president. You can take certain actions. The demonstration they embarked on, it went at a point in time, it went out of hand. I don't know if you saw some of the videos.
They are dead.
Yes.
They are online.
Yes. So since then, what have you done? It looks like the authorities there in South Africa are so toothless. They have nothing to do. And for me, it has always been a charade. It has always been a smokescreen. Let's just do something for the people out there, outside, South Africa, to think that we are doing something. But for social media, Kwame, would you have seen all of these things? They would have told us a different story, totally different story, thanks to social media. We are seeing all the videos, we are seeing all the scenes and how they are attacking our people and what have you. There was a video I saw of a Nigerian who ostensibly was in a bank, I think, to go do some transactions, and these South Africans, just bumped into him, so to speak, in the banking hall and told him to leave. And he called their bluff. He told them that, look, I am not living here. I am married here. My taxes go into your country. I do a lot of stuff here. You can't sack me. And the guys couldn't do anything. They couldn't do a hoot. It is about time
they
our
are
leaders...
pharaohs like that too.
Oh no, they are pharaohs. We understand.
They can only act in a group. One-on-one.
No, this one is one-on-one.
One-on-one, they can't do anything.
No.
That's why a lot of them walk with guns and knives and all of that. Because physically, they can't stand you.
Exactly. And this man was alone. He was an old man. And he stood them. They were about 3. He stood them and told them that, look, you can't sack me. If you dare touch me, I will beat the hell out of you. Come on, let's let these South Africans know that they shouldn't think they are an island. South Africa is an African nation. Even though it's an African nation, that one African nation without a country. A name. So Ramaphosa, yes, he can decide. And you see, this visit is not as though President Mahama or the government of Ghana is inviting Ramaphosa to a meeting. It is Ramaphosa who is requesting for this meeting. Yesterday I spoke to an international relations expert here, Farouk Al-Wahab, who says that if President Mahama, first of all, he said that President Mahama, it's a good thing that he did, that he turned it down, whether it's been postponed or whatever. What we know is that as a people, we don't want Ramaphosa here. He should be there. He should be on his island country somewhere. He should be there.
When the timing is right, he can come.
Yes, and when would the timing be right? It is after you as a president, you've done things right.
So that's what I'm saying. That so when he does the right things there, then he's welcome.
But do you think he's ready to do things right there? He's not ready.
No,
the man is scared of his own people.
This time also.
Because you are a failed government. The government of South Africa, since the apartheid regime, hasn't really done anything better to benefit the lot of the people of South Africa.
They have all become looters.
Yeah.
There are whole and multiple write-ups on how all of these so-called ANC leaders who were in jail with Nelson Mandela, how they have not even become millionaires. They have become billionaires. What work were you doing? You were in jail. You were not doing anything. So all of them have come out of prison. They have taken over the big jobs, and it's not like if they were even performing Kenya. They are literally collapsing virtually every sector. That's the thing. And the people are venting their spleen on the foreigners in the country.
I can't see
your government has how failed. They don't get it. That it's not about that immigrant from Malawi. It's not about that immigrant from Nigeria. It's because your government has failed you.
Yeah. They failed. And so Ramaphosa knows that if he dares talk against what they are doing,
they will lose an election.
Simplicity. That's the reason why he's become toothless. Kwame. So yes, of course. But I hope it should be a rejection. No. It should be a rejection. Yesterday, Al Farouk said that. In fact, he applauded President Mahama for the stance he took and said that he should even recall Ghana's mission there. Because we don't even have anything.
We still have our people there, so
Kofi Bento says that we should sever our relationship with South Africa. I agree with all of these positions that have been espoused by these men. I agree with it. Kwame, you see, I am growing to a stage where
thing is we are not like that.
No, that's how we are. That's how Ghanaians are,
we are timid like that.
Which is worrying us.
We tolerate a lot of things like that. Yeah.
If a nation, an African nation, rises up against what South Africa is doing, mind you, this thing didn't start now. The early 20s, 1920s, and what have you. We saw some old footages of South Africa, some South African folks throwing away these foreigners through the windows of buses and what have you. So it's been something that has been there with them since time immemorial, right up till now. But it looks as if every time these things happen, of course, African nations, we are one. Kwame.
The AU has not said a word.
Oh, it's the AU.
I don't recall ECOWAS saying a word.
Do they exist at all?
I don't remember SADC saying a word.
These blocks, do they exist? Are they still in
existence?
existence?
Name, I guess. I don't remember them saying anything.
Forget about them. There's nothing they can do.
And you see, I've seen people calling for retaliations in one way or the other. And I keep saying that maybe, just maybe, we are not like that. But the South Africans do not even realize, and that's where the South African government, of course, that they have investment all over the place. If we choose to react or if we choose to retaliate, if Ghanaians choose not to have anything to do with MTN today, and the worry, and I get it, the worry for many is that, when we retaliate, it will cost jobs. So, for example, if we choose to attack MTN, or if we choose to do anything that affects that business. Look at the thousands of people or the thousands of Ghanaians that MTN has employed. If you look at the mines, look at the thousands of people they've employed. If you look at their retail businesses, look at ShopRite, it's still there. Look at they are in the hospitality industry as well.
There are lots of them.
Proteus, they are there. Woolworth, they are here. There are so many of them.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. In as much as they are providing opportunities for many Ghanaians, nobody is talking about the fact that they are also making crazy money from our space. If you go to any ShopRite shop here in Ghana,
a huge percentage of what they make here will go back to their country.
They don't keep them here. Everybody knows that. There's what we call capital flight. A lot of the money goes back. All of these money that Goldfields make, the mining giants, a lot of that money would go back. Woolworth, MTN, name them. There are many here. I'm sure over 50 or 60 or 70% of the profits that they make go there.
Lots of them,
so it is not like it's going to cost us so much, but it would cost them as well.
Yeah,
but they
definitely.
They don't seem to be paying attention to that for whatever reason.
They're careless.
But
they're careless, and that's typical. That's a typical South African nature. It's something to do with them. But I think that it's gotten to a time where we need to call the bluff of these South Africans and let them know that you should know that you are not an island somewhere. Once we are interconnected, whatever you do in your country, definitely you would need the support of a certain country.
They don't travel. They don't see anything.
And you don't find yourself in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, for instance, like Cabo Verde and Co. You are here. You are here with us in Africa. And yet you want to behave as though you are so separate and so far, and you are, what's the term for it? You are so independent, so self-sufficient, and you wouldn't need any country support. Definitely, after everything, you will come back to other African nations and ask for their support. But I think that they are only interested. They are not looking at the long term, Kwame. South Africans are not looking at the long term implications of what they are doing. And it is also because no African nation has told them that, look, or has taken a bold stance against what they are doing. We keep only saying that, oh, well, what you are doing is not good and stop it. And that's all we do. So I think that it's about time Ghana, Nigeria, and the other African nations reply or retaliate in a very harsh way. Kwame, it is very important we do that to send a very clear, unambiguous statement or signal to them that never again are we going to tolerate these things. And Ramaphosa, anytime he wants to come to Ghana, when the time is right, and the time being right would mean that he would also have to put his asses down and fix things there and get the people. He should let the people know that I'm in charge, so let me handle things. But until then, Kwame, the time is not right for him to come to this country. He should go back. We don't need him in this country at all, Kwame. And thankfully this morning, Kwame, we've been joined in studios by my brother from another mother, Amiyao. Amiyao is also a political commentator. Unless Amiyao is not agreeing with me that these South African folks should go back to their country. Kwame, bro, for the crowd. Kwame.
It's just unfortunate. I mean, that's all I would say. It's just unfortunate, and maybe for the current generation of all of these young men in South Africa, they don't seem to maybe study African history like we do here, and know how far they have come from the days of apartheid. So now, maybe just maybe they are not taught in class. Maybe.
No, I think they've only been told the stories of the harrowing, torture and effects of the apartheid system. That's what they've been told. And so anybody who is anti,
they have not been taught about the supports that they got from.
I doubt.
All over.
I doubt.
Anyway, let's see.
Well, if I should step in, I think I share. I mean, I'll differ from what you just said. I think they know their history. They know their history. Because when you listen to Jacinta, for instance, and when, the question was raised about what Mandela, other African countries did with Mandela to liberate them. Her reply was that then we should go and take our money from Mandela. So
can you imagine? You see, such.
That's my.
Whenever I talk about South Africa, then
so they know it. They know it, but I think they don't want to appreciate the fact that these African countries actually sacrificed a lot to get them where they are. They don't want to appreciate it, and the fact that they are even blaming their fellow Africans for their woes is very, very disgraceful. Because I have watched videos where, I mean, the other gentleman who is doing the
I hear there are cracks within.
Yeah, they've started agreeing though. But I've watched a video where he was actually talking with a white lady.
Yeah, and telling the white lady, yeah, you are part of us. And then the white lady says something.
And the white lady is also a foreigner.
She gave him a very, cryptic.
Yes. So I think it's just a misplaced priority that they have right now. And also, if they want to behave as an island, let's give them that. I think the African country, like we did, during the World Cup, it really, really, really hurts them that we did that to them. let us sideline them.
It's important, Kwame.
If they want to do it by themselves, let us allow them to do it by themselves. And I would appreciate that we even, take all the foreigners away, the African foreigners away, because obviously they are hurting them. They are doing things that are, causing much more damage to them. Just recently, I watched a video where even their own airport, they have gone to loot the place. These are people who are calling
that one
for
is
jobs.
normal.
Kwame has had, you have had countless experiences in South Africa.
That one is normal. They're looting and they're stealing. Oh, it's normal. It's normal over there.
What normally surprises me is the fact that South Africa has been branded as one of the, countries with the most violent acts.
It serves them right.
And
it serves them right.
The influx of, our African people going to the same country.
Look for jobs now.
Kwame,
you see, that's the conundrum. You see, in as much as I wouldn't love to go there, but if you take even SADC, just SADC alone, Mozambique, as for Lesotho and Swaziland, they are all in South Africa geographically.
Yeah.
Lesotho,
South Africa is not a country.
That's what I'm saying. It's all in South Africa. So Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique, they are over. God knows how many millions of Zimbabweans who are living there. They are people from even Botswana that is fairly stable and very rich. You would still meet somebody from Botswana when you're walking the streets of Joburg.
Yeah.
People are coming from as far as Zambia, DRC, Kenya, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, even Angola with all their riches in diamond and petroleum. You see people from Namibia. So it's a case of the economies of states very close to them appear also not to be doing too well to manage issues of employment. So the option is
to travel to South Africa.
If you can't make it to Europe or if you can't make it to the Americas, South Africa appears to be an option. And you go to South Africa and you will meet. The last time I was there, I met a Ghanaian who has lived there for 30 years. I was like, what brought you here? He told me a long story. You meet people from Zimbabwe, they've been living there for 20, 25 years. And they are doing so well.
I'm not cutting you. So what is it about their currency? Or
no,
what?
It's
or
about
the job
opportunities.
The job availability.
So the mines obviously serve as an opportunity for people, especially when you rise in the organization in which you work. You can make crazy money. The banks are there. There are a lot of banks there. The insurance companies are doing well. If you run a business, a fairly decent business, like for example, if you're a barber here, for the guys, how much do we do? 20, 30 cedis. If you run... So let's say plus or minus 40 cedis. So if you have X number of people a day multiplied by X number of people in a month, you get a certain amount.
I see.
If you do a decent barbering shop in a decent area in Joburg, you probably are earning more than an MD of a bank here in Ghana. Something like that. Because the money is not bad. If you are into hairdressing, for example, they like to place their hair.
But
if
they
you
should
go
know.
and do
They should know that.
not the penny and that one. If you go and do the plating,
they should know that those systems were put in place by their, so to speak, their colonial masters. Their leaders have failed them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That
so when we go there and they tell us to go and fix our country, how they fix their country?
You probably would look at all of those things. So for all these millions of people who have made their way from other parts of the continent to go there, it's because of these opportunities. These opportunities that they can't find in their countries. And that's why so many times we also criticize our governments for not doing enough to help with the unemployment conversation. Because if these opportunities are there, who would want to go and die? Who would want to travel to a country where he's not welcome, where he's not accepted, where he will be killed? I hear of people being mugged, people being killed, people being butchered every now and then. South Africa has a very high crime rate, but people are still going. Why? Because when they wake up in their countries, beyond their lives, and saying thank you God, opportunities are zero. So they will go.
True. No,
that's the sad part.
In fact, what I hear, and we've had this discussion on this platform, that the average or the ordinary South African is lazy.
I think
they are lazy.
It's not like they are. You will see it with your two eyes when you go there. I remember I had even in Ghana, I don't see that where people are queuing for food. Here.
Oh, they queue in South Africa for food?
I saw a queue. There's a place in Joburg, probably just outside of Joburg. It's called Midrand. Okay. I remember I even met the Honorable Ambrose Derry there. Okay. He came for, I think at that time he was in African Parliament or something. Okay. So I was just walking on the street. Parliament. Yes, and I just entered the building and he was also entering that building.
I see.
And then I saw the queue just behind him. He was entering a building. So I even thought maybe some Ghanaians or something who know him. And then I noticed that the queue was winding. It was around the building like that. What are these? So I just asked my South African host, and then he smiled and he said, they are queuing for food. I was like, who is providing the food? And he said, charities, NGOs, stuff like that. And you know what they're queuing for? There's a local food in South Africa called pap.
Oh, pap.
It's made with maize or something that. Like here, maybe Banku, maybe here, something like that. And when you look at, it's not like old men or able-bodied men who can respectfully go and look for a job. They would rather prefer to queue for the pap, and then when they finish, all of these people would melt into Joburg, and then they start the mugging, they start the killing, they start the robbing, they start everything, and then when they are successful in the day, they'll just disappear into what you call the townships. So the townships are where thousands of our brothers live. They don't live in the high-end areas.
Yeah.
The whites are virtually taken over. Of course, the black people who are doing well, you'd also see some of them in the high-end areas, but it's a very tiny minority. Many of our brothers are in the townships. So they melt there. And when they melt and enter the townships, you can't chase them. It's just like, maybe here, hey, I can't use here. If I use here, somebody will come after me. Just in case someone lives in those. Here, let's say somebody would melt into, we know the places, somebody would melt into some communities here. And how are you going to chase the person there? So that's what they do. They don't even like to school.
Wow.
They can speak decent English. That one, it looks like it's fairly okay. But opportunities are there for them to school. They don't even want to go to school. They are waiting for
government to do everything.
Like something like welfare. Government should give me this. It's always government give me that. Government give me this. That's the mindset of a lot of them, and it's strange.
They want to live within their comfort zone and expect manna to drop straight into their mouth, isn't it? Government should give you money directly. Government should put food in your mouth directly. Everything is about.
The guy who lives together with Jacinta made a point that the government can share their GDP to them individually,
so that everyone gets a million rand
for like 70 years, and they will not do nothing. They will just be sitting there.
Look at this mindset.
So if you have this mindset, even when you have asked your African foreigners to go back to their country, you still have this intrinsic and very entrenched mindset that okay, I still don't have to work, and the government needs
to provide. And that's why they.
I thought when you go to some of the French-speaking African countries years ago, honestly, I had an impression. I thought they were lazy because in Ghana,
Côte d'Ivoire,
11 a.m. on Monday, Charlie, you won't see somebody at the Biaba, Charlie.
No,
it's a very common thing in the French-speaking countries. 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon, he will tell you he has closed from work, and you are wondering which kind of work he went that he has closed at 1 p.m. I thought they were lazy until I went to South Africa for the first time, and I was like, and some of them, if they were even respectfully drinking products of value, is different. They have a local beer. They call it Umkombote.
Hey, that song.
Yeah, it's a beer.
Yeah. Look for that song.
And Monday 1 p.m.
Wow.
Tuesday 11 a.m. Wow. Like, and some of them, they work in the mines. And because they have very little education, the mines are scattered all over South Africa. Because they have very little education, just like here, they are paid not much. If I will put it that way, South African terms, they are paid not much. So they go to the mines, they come out of the mines, like they are drinking their lungs out 2 o'clock or so, he's going to sleep. Like, it's like some carefree life be like that.
That's why the African foreigners will always succeed.
Kwame, they are not serious. Kwame, let's move away from this.
Let's move on.
Let's move away from this.
The story on there. I don't know. I've seen, some conversations back and forth on social media. So the Interior Minister have told the whole world that 1,300 recruits had HIV.
That story, Kwame.
Should he have told the whole world something like this?
Kwame, so yesterday in the newsroom, I was having a debate on this with Caleb. Caleb says, well, he finds nothing wrong with it. And I was recounting to him what used to be the situation when we joined. The fact that you would all prospective applicants or potential recruits or trainees would all converge at a location. The medical facility, professionals from the medical facility that will conduct the test would all be brought there, and then you do the test there and then. Usually the result isn't given to you, especially with regards to when I was joining. The result wasn't given to us there, so everything is collated into a pool. And I think it's given back to the respective security agency, the officials at the headquarters. So if there's anything that you need to know, I think usually they would communicate to you. But usually they do the HIVs, the tuberculosis, and if you're a lady, if you've ever gotten pregnant or within that, I think it's 2 or 3 months, if you got pregnant and perhaps you aborted it, the signs will still show as negative. Once you test it. So they advise against some of these things. And we look at this current exercise that was carried out by this government and the fact that there was a lot of issues, or there were a lot of issues as regards the recruitment in itself. And Kwame, you saw what happened at Elwak, the stampede, to the extent that some people lost their lives, some people are incapacitated and what have you. And the minister appearing before the Government Assurances Committee of Parliament, the minister, I was expecting that from a security perspective, if even that question was posed to him, and this is me and my opinion, you can have your opinion, even if the question was posed to him, he could have still found a nice way of not putting out that detail. Because Kwame, assuming you applied and you were not called, no reasons whatsoever was adduced or was given you.
Which is the case.
Yes.
For many.
For a lot of the security services in the advanced countries, I applied into one of the security services in one of those advanced countries to the extent that I even wrote the DNA test. They have a test more like an aptitude test. So that's more like you get into an advanced stage for you to actually be recruited into the service. And that's where I failed. They go back to me and told me that you failed. They communicated it to me. But here in a part of the world, that thing wouldn't be communicated to you. And you can't ask questions because when you ask, they tell you that, it's so the Ejumao, buga, you don't ask questions. But it shouldn't be the case. Now here we are with the minister appearing before Government Assurances Committee of Parliament and putting out this information that 1,300 potential recruits are infected with HIV. I would expect that once you are putting out these figures, the persons already know. You found a way of communicating it to them already. And it shouldn't just be via phone. Of course, with the help of a psychologist, a counselor, and what have you. So that you don't just call them on phone and give them the information because you don't know where, for instance, a certain, Kwame is, and you call to break the news to him, and how he or she would carry or would react to that information that you are giving to him or her. So for the minister, yes, of course, it is worrying. We understand. And we're talking about HIV. And even if it's HIV, he's not said AIDS. So for persons who are listening to us, who perhaps applied into the service and haven't had a call up and are wondering, am I also part of the 1,300? I think that you should relax. It shouldn't send shivers down your spine. And it's important rather to go and have yourself checked. Because, and you see,
privately.
Yes. For me, in my house, it's something we do on a quarterly basis. At a point in time, I got fed up. Because, my wife is a health worker. And constantly, she has the kids. She's checking you and... But it's good, you get to know your status, because in our daily encounters, in our daily activities, it is not just sexually, so to speak. It's not just sexually. You come into contact with a lot of people. We've been advised against using blades that have been, or sharps that have been used by people and what have you. Even you sit in Trotsky's and your body contact, you have contact with people, someone is sweating close to you, hepatitis and all of that. So we are exposed. We are exposed. But the minister says that it's 1,300 HIV cases. It is important that you do not panic at this point in time. And that's where I have an issue with the minister putting out the information on that
when
platform.
the question was posed, okay, we had, and you see, communication is everything.
Yeah.
Maybe for the three of us, we can manage our way.
Yeah.
I don't know about maybe the kind of training that is offered public officials and all of that, because some of them easily give themselves away when they speak. Elsewhere, you'd hear, oh, we had a fair bit of health concerns. They'll just say that. They won't be throwing the figures to get people worried and all of that. So we had a fair bit of health concerns with the process, and they'll even go ahead to say that's what you see, especially in the advanced countries. We have communicated these concerns to the individuals involved. Then they just leave it there.
It ends there. However you interpret it.
You can ask your question.
It ends there.
1,000 different ways. They would give the same response because they've been trained to say if you like the right things at the right time. Yeah. So he won't say 2 billion people had AIDS, bam, like that, and then you just leave it there. No, he would tell you that we had health concerns with the process and the individuals, because it is individuals who applied for the jobs, and health statuses of people is pretty much like classified stuff or confidential stuff. So we have communicated these concerns to the people we had concerns with. And it ends there. But to throw it out like that,
you could have stopped for. And you see,
you
said it. Normally at these committee meetings, it is not all the time, or it is not always that the media gets access to these committee meetings. But depending on the issue that the members will be talking about, they can allow the media in. And I'm talking per experience from Parliament. And I get an indication that the media was there, for which reason this video came out and all of that. So you should be mindful of the platform on which you are speaking. It wasn't as though it was a committee of the whole. You know what committee of the whole is? Where they allow strangers. When we talk about strangers in Parliament, i.e. the media, the public gallery, and all of those people who are in, they all go out. And then the members together with the speaker and whoever has been invited, if there's a guest or something to brief the House, they all sit and then they have a meeting at the committee of the whole. So everything they discuss stays within, the plenary. But this one was a committee meeting and the media was there. Everybody was there. It was live on TV and what have you. And to put out such information and looking at the number, it is not as though some 100 people, Kwame, 1,300. And we're talking about, initially they wanted
I can imagine if, for example, my brother Amial went for the process and failed. And then in this area, the boys are going like, shall he be one of them safe? That be why you don't get the job.
Meanwhile, the stigma even within the community, the society. People will stigmatize you because they know that you applied, you didn't go.
Because if you had just said health concerns, it can be
is simple, it's generic
to whatever.
Yes,
but the moment you're specific like that,
we could put ourselves in the shoes of the people, like you are saying right now. Because even if you don't have what he has talked about, just the trauma alone, because right now you'll be questioning yourself every minute.
I get HIV.
Yes. And I think he even went on to make a statement that these people are supposed to contact them to know whether they have it or not. So really? It's not like they have. Yeah, I listened to it.
Yeah. They are yet to contact them.
The people. But the people are supposed to. They said that. I mean, they told the people to contact them, and the people have not contacted them and all that. But now they want
contact them for what?
Like you need to come out and seek help from.
I've been hit with this story. Saleh, it will just mess me up. I may not even call you back or anything like that.
So you've already put this information out without first making sure you've put all these measures in place, getting all the clinical psychologists to do the psychology and all that. You call the people, you have psyched them up and all that. And if you've done all this and you want to come out with a certain information like this, which of course needs to be confidential in the first place, because HIV status is confidential.
Yeah. I don't know, Brett. Well, I saw a lot of debates on that on social media yesterday, and I could understand. Yeah.
You made a very good point, a very genuine point that, our officials probably need to also undertake some psychological training and all that. Yeah, because sometimes handling people is very complex. So if you don't have the psychological knowledge about how to handle someone or how to handle a situation, you end up messing everything up. So I think it's very important and with his pedigree as or in the capacity of an interior minister, he should live above certain things a little bit. I mean, respectfully, not to say it in a, I mean, just because the information is very sensitive. Very now, the people at home, even their parents. If I'm a parent and my son or my daughter went for this
and failed, and I'm thinking, hey, Kwekubra, like
what they are going through,
they might be. You now your parents would even start looking at you some way because maybe it could be the reason why you were not called up. Maybe it has nothing to do with that. So if you just said health concerns, that one could be health concerns could mean maybe you are just not fit, and nobody knows what exactly it is. But well, now the information is out. I don't know. I don't know what will change.
The information out, they just need to do the right thing. Get to the people that they know have these. I mean, this particular situation, they have.
Give them some help.
Yeah.
Psychologically.
Yeah, give them some help. Call them. Offer them some help.
Do we still?
Do not wait for them to call you. You call them, and then offer them some help because you don't know what someone is going through at the moment. Just by hearing this, I don't know how they're even going to do it but they should have the data because if you know 1,300 people have contracted the virus,
then you know who the person is. So if they are not calling, you call them.
Yes.
Do we still have these what do they call them? Antiretroviral.
Yeah.
We still have them.
They're still there.
So maybe they will give them some.
They have to give them all these. I mean.
Anyway, well, this is where we draw the curtains on the newspaper conversation. There was something in here on the front page of the Publisher newspaper. Dead men on payroll. 4 ghosts. I don't know if you saw this story yesterday, but I saw it somewhere late afternoon. 4 ghosts chopped 7.4 million for 7 years. That's the one we even know. The one we don't know yet.
Yes. And these things come up every year.
How do these things happen? Like, how do they happen?
I don't get it.
Because these are documentational stuff. So we're paying for 7 years, not even 7 months. For 7 years, we're paying. And this is like the tip of the iceberg. Just like we saw in Tamale, where somebody who was dead was paid, and the person who was doing the payments at the hospital probably even attended the funeral of that person. How do we do these things in this country? How?
So maybe we don't have the databases of, our, let me say the database of, the people we employ. I mean, because if let's say someone is dead, you should know. If someone is incapacitated, if someone is dead, if someone is not available, you should have all these details over time. So it's just, let's put it blunt, it's just the wickedness of.
So what you put the money into an account of the dead person, and then somebody goes to withdraw.
No, they will siphon it
themselves.
Yes, because they know that the person is dead. You will not be looking after dead. I mean, like looking out to find those who are dead, whether they are receiving payment or not. So once the money gets to a dead person, they will just.
What do they want to do with all that money?
Greediness. I mean, flamboyant living, opulence, these things, and some people just have the greed for money. They just want to live that life.
I mean, I will make money, but we'll make money the right way.
Yeah, make it the right way.
We'll make money the right way.
Make it the right way. And these people are receiving huge salaries and all that.
So that nobody will come for me. Yeah.
And you know that, once you're in government, it's 4 years. You could be voted out. Definitely, you will come and account for it someday. So if you have done this, it's just that Ghana here, we have that deficiency of, when somebody does something, we are not able to really prosecute.
Oh, the case will just die a natural death. Especially if you like you, Amia, for example, your pastor is Bishop Dr. Reverend. Bishop Dr. Reverend.
No, we have
very powerful.
Listen, we have Bishop before Doctor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Reverend. So all in one, Bishop Dr. Reverend. If all of that is for one person, the person will go and who I beg on your behalf. What kind of country is this? Where like a member of the church, because maybe the person contributes or is a very highly influential person, the person has stolen state funds, and the bishop, who is supposed to ensure that the right thing is done, is whooing I beg.
But Kwame, what do you want the bishop to do? To allow state agencies take him in?
It would affect the money.
You should know.
But it's wrong.
He's the biggest.
Let me tell you about
God does not accept that kind of money.
It's wrong. Let me tell you briefly about this.
But it's wrong.
In one of the banks that we have in the country,
Don't mention the bank.
No, I'll not. But once I say the story, I'm sure you are from the sector, so you will know.
If I can follow, the banks are many now. So
there's this lady who was working with this bank, and she was in charge of a certain sector, so to speak, where they collect money into a certain pool, and she manages that fund on behalf of the bank. Ostensibly, this girl has been siphoning the money for her own personal use,
and they never noticed.
Years after they got to notice. They sacked her. Even though they sacked her, it's not as though they were not prosecuting her. But at the end of the day, the money, they will not be able to get it. Little did they know that she was investing a lot of the money into her church projects. So she had to send her pastors and co to all go and beg. At the point when they needed the pastor told them that, oh, me too quiet. You see, that's the point I'm making. So even though
the people's funds,
she was
putting in the church projects.
I'm telling you. You see these persons. You see them in church, and they contribute a lot. Their tithe and their offerings and what have you. And now going to church has become so intimidating, so much so that if you don't have money, yet you have clothes.
I give what I have.
Church.
I am not moved by those things.
We have first offering, second offering, third offering, fourth offering, project offering.
You can still spread the offering. You don't have to do 50 CDs per offering. In my church, for example, we don't put the money in a hand for everybody to see.
And for your information,
we put it in an envelope.
For your information, I've joined you.
One CD in the envelope, nobody knows.
I've joined you.
But for you,
you've done my church.
I've joined your church.
It's a very good church. Assemblies of God. You're welcome. You can put even it's 50 pesos.
Reverend,
you can put one CD, even if it's 10 offerings, 10 CDs. Now they want one CD.
Now Kwame, listen.
In today's Ghana,
that's what I'm coming to say.
No, if you put it in the envelope, Kwame, who would know?
No, have you not watched this video of a pastor who was, criticizing the congregation or?
You give too small.
Do you know the kind of job I do?
You give too small. Your blessings will be small. Your blessings will be small.
Who defines those blessings? You or God? God knows that I can only give one CD. So God will bless me. It's not up to you, the pastor, convincing me to give 1 million.
They will tell you that you're not serious.
No. That is your opinion.
More.
I'm not moved by those things.
You should give more.
In my church, when it's time for fundraising,
you are not being patriotic to the church.
I guess if I don't have, I won't give.
Kwame, you are not being patriotic to the church. Kwame. Now church project the pastor needs to eat.
It is those churches.
The pastor is on a full-time basis working for the church.
When the member needs a problem, the pastor will say let's pray.
Exactly.
But when the church has a problem, the pastor will say let's raise funds. Those churches who are like that, that is what they do. There.
A pastor once said that the church money is not used to cater for the congregation.
Kwame, that's a fact.
As if it is not the congregants who contribute to the growth of that church.
I know this former.
Without our tithes.
I know this.
Who are you? You are just a pastor in Kasok.
I know this ex or former Asafo Mami who was telling me about all the things about what her husband used to do, to the extent that at a point in time what they would eat, as a family was difficult for the man to provide because now cut down. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Oh, says he can't mabium. I'm like, oh, so that's what goes into it. And she was blunt with me. She told me that look, the monies that we take in church, of course, the pastor's family needs to eat. The man has to provide for the family.
Of course.
And so they use these money. See,
the one man churches, who do they account?
Church has become
a business. Everybody knows that.
It has become a business. Let's call a spade a spade. And for that friend of mine who tells me that, Charles, now God has blessed me.
Even in the structured churches, wahala everything.
God has blessed me. I'm like, Pamasa. Nana hustle in because he started all
the offering comes to you. All the tithes will come to you.
Let me not mention his name.
Gone are the days when a pastor would, rebuke you for staking. If I don't know if the word is right, staking lotto, right? Or doing bet. Now we have prophets who will call you and give you prophetic message that you're going to go and bring in my commission.
And football here, of course, Ghana would win. So me, I don't know much about that. Then they say what the odds and what pastor, what business have you got to do with odds? Me, Kwame, say aviator me to be hey. If I'm
the plane will fly.
Me, the plane was just flying out, and I was enjoying it. The first time I did it, I did it thrice. The first time I did it, had some 6,000. After I had invested like 500 Ghana, I said, "Oh, Charlie, more there."
Use 500 to
I'm telling you, Kwame.
And when
me dear, first time.
No, like what did you do with the system? You used that. You reinvested.
I reinvested it.
You will lose everything.
Need to your group.
You lose everything.
I almost collapsed. I said, Jesus. Then I was
this is where we're going to get this. We have a letter to His Excellency. Let me say a big thank you to Charles. Let me say a big thank you to Amir as well for helping out with the newspaper review this morning. But in line with that, we have a letter for His Excellency President John Dramani-Mahama. Kindly listen.
Dear Mr. President, I write to you today as a citizen who believes that the decisions we make as a country must always put the national interest above individual or political interest. Mr. President, the Council of State has offered advice against signing the dual citizenship bill into law, and I believe this advice deserves serious consideration. The Council of State exists as an important constitutional institution to provide guidance on matters that have significant implications for the governance and future of our nation. The concerns raised by the Council of State cannot simply be brushed aside. At the heart of this debate is a fundamental question. Does this bill strengthen our democracy and accountability systems, or does it create loopholes that could weaken them? Mr. President, one of the biggest concerns surrounding dual citizenship and public office is the issue of accountability, where individuals who hold citizenship of another country occupy sensitive positions within government. We must carefully consider the implications, especially when allegations of corruption or abuse of office arise. Ghana has had difficult experiences with high-profile corruption investigations, including the ongoing public debate surrounding former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who has been reported to be seeking American citizenship. While every Ghanaian has the right to pursue citizenship options available under the law, the situation has raised legitimate concerns among citizens about whether dual citizenship could become a tool that makes accountability and prosecution more difficult in certain circumstances. Mr. President, the proposed bill seeks to open up opportunities for persons in the diaspora to occupy certain public offices. This may be a positive step in tapping into the skills and expertise of Ghanaians abroad. However, alongside that opportunity must come strong safeguards to ensure that anyone who serves Ghana remains fully accountable to Ghanaian laws. We cannot create a system where a public official can enjoy the privileges of serving in Ghana, but when faced with allegations of wrongdoing, can rely on another nationality as a possible shield from accountability. Public service must come with responsibility, commitment, and the willingness to face the consequences of one's action. Mr. President, governance is built on trust. The fight against corruption requires institutions and laws that make investigations easier, not more complicated. Any reform that has the potential to create uncertainty around accountability must be examined carefully. The advice of the Council of State may not be the final word, but it is a voice that represents experience and constitutional wisdom. Listening to that advice will not be a sign of weakness. It will be a demonstration of leadership and a commitment to protecting Ghana's democratic foundations. Mr. President, history will not judge leaders only by the laws they passed, but also by the safeguards they put in place to protect the nation. I therefore urge you to carefully consider the concerns raised by the Council of State before giving your assent to the dual citizenship bill. The Ghana we protect today is the Ghana our children will inherit tomorrow. Yours faithfully, Class FM.
Well, that was my news editor, Nanoye, with a letter to His Excellency President John Dramani-Mahama there. It's now time to celebrate you with a very special person because it is birthday time. celebrating their birthday today. You know, Apusha, today is his birthday. He was born on this day in 1973. He doesn't look 53. That one I can tell you for a fact. The last time I saw him, he didn't look 53. He looked like he's probably in his early 40s. But Apusha is celebrating birthday number 53. Everybody knows him by Ajite Anan. A happy birthday to you, sir, wherever you do find yourself. Today also happens to be birthday number 54. For those of you who love sports, Professor Andrew Usu competed for Ghana in long jump in Atlanta in the Olympic Games. I recall that very, very well. He's celebrating his birthday today. He's 54 today. Happy birthday to you, Prof, wherever you do find yourself. And today also happens to be the birthday of former Member of Parliament for Wa and former Minister of Health, Joseph Yilechire. He was born on this day in 1954. So he's celebrating birthday number 72. Happy birthday to all of these notable, very, very notable people, wherever they do find themselves today. Thank you. As you keep on sending your messages, let me take the opportunity to celebrate a few friends who were born on this day. It's always a long list of people. Oh, internet. Okay. Internet will not open for me. It will open by force so that I can celebrate my friends who were born on this day. But if today happens to be your birthday, or if you know someone who is celebrating his or her birthday today, you can let us know on WhatsApp number 0500,000 202 0500,000 202, and we can celebrate the brother. For now, though, Dr. Vanessa Appiah is standing by to give us some health tips.
I'm Dr. Vanessa Appiah, and this is Medical Minutes. When people talk about healthy eating, they often focus on proteins, vitamins, or cutting out sugar. But one of the most powerful nutrients for long-term health is often overlooked: fiber. Fiber is found in plant foods such as vegetables, fruits, beans, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Unlike many other nutrients, fiber isn't fully digested by the body. Instead, it helps keep the digestive system healthy and supports many aspects of overall well-being. Fiber helps support regular bowel movements, feed beneficial gut bacteria, improve cholesterol levels, support blood pressure control, and help you feel fuller for longer. Research has consistently linked high fiber intake with lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, bowel disease, and other chronic conditions. But the challenge is that many modern diets contain far less fiber than our body needs. Highly processed foods tend to be lower in fiber, and whilst traditional foods such as beans, kontomire, okra, fruits, vegetables, millets, and whole grains are often naturally rich sources, sometimes improving health doesn't require adding something new. It requires returning to basics. So, look at your plate today. Can you add one extra source of fiber? A serving of fruit, more vegetables, beans, or a whole grain instead of a refined one? Small changes add up over time. I'm Dr. Vanessa Appiah, CEO of the Accra London Health Centre. Your well-being matters.
So those were some health tips are coming through from Dr. Vanessa Appiah. So eat the right foods and stay healthy. This is still Class 91.3 FM.
It's a
Well, this morning I'm doing a cocktail for a piece of my mind. A piece of my mind is a segment of the show where I share my thoughts on a subject or more, and also give you an opportunity for you to do same. You can reach me via multiple ways on our WhatsApp platform 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. Alternatively, you can reach us on our socials, Class 913 on Facebook. We're streaming live there, and also on WhatsApp 0500,000 202. When the phone lines are activated, you can always give us a call. Please take note of the calling number 0302 208080 0302 208080. There's a story on the news center, and that story is also on a publisher as well, on the front pages of these papers. And it has to do with dead men on payroll. 4 ghosts chopped up to 7.4 million Ghana cedis for 7 years. 7.4 million Ghana cedi is owed 74 billion. Yeah, that's how we like to do it and get to see how big the value is. Every time I see some of these things pop up in the Auditor General's reports, I ask myself very basic questions. How do these things happen? Is it that we have poor systems, or is it a case of greed, or people just find a way to beat the system? Because how do you tell me that somebody works with an organization? Let's say the person passes on. In the case of these individuals, they passed on, we are told, in 2019. The full story is there. Now, if they pass on in 2019, in the organization in which they work, documents will be submitted in that regard so that you stop paying the person. How is it that this same person in private organizations, at least I know that's what's done. In my lifetime, I have barely worked for, a public organization full time. So I won't pretend as if I know, what they do there. But these things are so basic that where you work, if for any reason you resign, you are fired, you pass on, anything to do with you is moved away. So your files may be moved away. Human capital would probably delist you, blacklist you, whatever terminology that they use, so that funds of that organization will still not find its way to you, because you are no longer contributing to the growth or successes of that organization, because you have moved on, whether voluntarily or whether you passed on. In the case of these people, for 7 years, they had nothing to do with the organization. In fact, they had passed on. So the people who were writing all of the documentation, whether it's the account section, whether it's the human capital section, they had no idea that these people had passed on. We're in this country where we're told that at TTH in Tamale, an individual who passed was paid for up to 26 months. I would not be surprised that there were people who were working on the documentation who even attended the funeral of this individual. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? We claim we're a relatively poor country. We claim we need money to do so much. We need money to build schools. We need money to build hospitals. We need money to construct our roads. We need money for our healthcare. We need money for everything. Yet when the funds are available, a few people will just do whatever they want to do and abscond with the money. And sadly, when these things end up in the fore, not much is done. You barely hear of people being jailed. You barely hear of people being punished. You barely hear of people being sanctioned. These stories will just die a natural death. And like Charles and I have been discussing in the last 2 days, they have people who go and beg on their behalf, because all of these monies, 7.4 million Ghana cedis is a lot of money. You bet that other people may have also benefited. So they will find a way to get some of these people to go and plead on their behalf. Sadly, and nothing would happen to these people. I am not aware of anything that has been done to the guys at TTH who paid a dead person for 26 months. I'm not aware that anything has happened to the Human Capital Department that may have sanctioned that, or the Accounts Department that may have sanctioned that. I am not aware. That one, we saw it live on TV. There are so much that is happening in the public sector space. It is very irritating and it's very sad. Because if we claim we need money for all of these things, how is it that some people clandestinely find a way to siphon all of these funds and next to nothing would happen to them? Why? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Go and get the full report, and you would see crazy levels of discrepancies. Billions of Ghana cedi ending up in people's pockets. And yet nobody will be fired. Because sometimes when you trace, these are people who are linked to very powerful politicians. So they will plead on their behalf, they will beg on their behalf. There is something that my brother Yao Sankide always says on this platform. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. What noises did we not hear before election 2024? What noises did we not hear? Where are we years down the line? As if the evidence was there for people to be nabbed. But a year and a half, we are not seeing much, to be honest. They claim the wheels of justice will grind slowly. We've heard that thing over and over again. What happens? Nothing much really happens. And then before you know it, the case will just die a natural death. People are begging, or the case will drag in courts, and you would not see the head and tail of these cases. Elsewhere, when people steal or when people mismanage state funds, they are punished. I saw a story concerning a Chinese government official who are taking bribes to the tune of $315 million or something like that. It must be on Monday. And he's been sentenced to death. Go and chop that money in your grave. Here we don't punish. So it doesn't serve as a deterrent to anyone. Nothing happens. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what even finds its way into the public space. There is so much more that would not even find its way into the public space. So much more. And sometimes the documentation cannot even be traced. It is so sad why we do this to ourselves. Because if things work in this country, I am sure we would have made significant progress. Yesterday I saw a whole estate somewhere around the Oyarifa area, for example, and I'm moving into my next issue. But tying that in with, corruption and all of that. A whole estate around the Oyarifa area. Because we are having conversations about flats. This estate developer or whoever that person is has literally blocked the path of a waterway and has built a whole estate over there. God knows how many houses. I counted over 50 houses because the photo was shot from the air. And that person has diverted the water source and is causing a lot of flooding in that particular locality. This person would have been given the license to build. He would have all the necessary documentation to build when it is clearly a waterway. Someone somewhere gave that person the authorization to go and build there. Someone in a municipal assembly somewhere, that area or Yarifa Bokobi area will probably be under Medina. That person has a license to build. That's why the person has built over there and is causing a lot of havoc. Sometimes it's as if rules, laws, systems do not work in this country. It's like everybody comes in and they do whatever they like and they get away with it because nobody is punished. Nobody is punished. We say we have issues with the floods. We say people are suffering. Up to 34 people have passed. Up to 34 people. 6 are unaccounted for as we speak. It's like we are not bothered. Elsewhere, when 34 people pass, it is a national disaster. Flags will even be lowered half-mast. The people will be mourned. Their families will be supported. Here, everybody has gone on a break. Everybody has gone on a break. We are putting 350 million to support. Someone would say it's good. But what about the things that we need to do to stop and ensure that the floods do not happen again? What would that 350 million do? It will provide some mattresses, some food, but it would only be for the short term. When the rains come in next year and we have not done enough to stop those problems, the rains will cause havoc again. We want to clean. We want to stop people from building. We want to break down houses. We want to take away kiosks and containers. But we have gone to take away Davia Mess kiosk and have left the properties that have been built in the waterway. Who are we fooling? Let me say good morning to my brother Pakawosing in Kumasi. He used to be here. Yesterday he sent me a photo. Say here, I can't say what he said in that WhatsApp message, but I'll just paraphrase this. He says here, we act like we are working, but we are not actually working. We pretend to be working. We pretend to be delivering. And we pretend to be doing something. But in actual fact, we are not really doing anything. Look at the problems that surround us practically every single day. When we wake up, we see them, we experience them. Every single day, we wake up, we see them, we experience them. But what are the sanctioning regimes for people who have done the wrong thing? Next to nothing. I wrap up with the Ramaphosa story that is all over the place. It's a shame that it has gotten to this. I don't think we have snapped them. It's just that the timing is not right. So at this point, every sane leader would decline the visit, because when you welcome the person, it's as if you are supporting the actions of that individual. The leaders of the ANC have really let the South Africans down, including all those that they've hired as ministers and high commissioners. Almost all of them are aligned to the ANC, including the high commissioner here. What opportunities are you providing for your fellow black people? All of you have become millionaires and billionaires overnight, running down the South African economy, doing next to nothing. Lazy people. They've all become billionaires and millionaires and invested all over the place. Yet your locals are suffering. How that South African thinks that because Kweku and Ama run a barber shop in Joburg makes him unemployed is crazy. How does South African think that you, a cleaner working in a hotel, you've taken over his job? It's crazy. You can say all you want about unemployment and all of that. It's fair. But the cleaner taking over your job because you don't want to do it, or someone having opportunities in your country because you are not dedicated enough to take that job, you're not even diverting your anger against the people who have colonized you and are still colonizing you, sadly. Major lands, major farmlands, prime areas, they're all in the hands of the white people. How much is controlled by the black man in South Africa? Including all of these immigrants who have come to labor on menial jobs. It's not like they are doing some wild jobs and you say they are taking over your jobs. Cleaning, barbering, working in a salon, going underground, working in the mines. And even in the mines, they barely hire, foreigners. They would hire you. But because of your level of education is low, they can't give you crazy money. So they give you some few hundreds or some few thousand rands and they add income bounty to it. That should be the focus of the ANC governments, providing opportunities for the young South African who is probably coming through the system, or helping people to learn a trade. Then the blacks make progress. Then they are economically empowered. Then they make progress with their lives. Not the situation that persists today, where the leaders are only interested in creating, looting and sharing, and leaving the black man in South Africa impoverished. And they too, because they are so poor with their thinking, they think that it is Kweku Usu, who is a barber in Joburg, who is making him or her unemployed. It is a shame and it's disappointing. As for the major organizations on the continent, the least said about them, the better. You barely hear any comments in that regard. Literally, sharing some strong words at what is happening in there. Next to nothing. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We all live to fight another day. Health related issues today. The phone lines are activated 0302208080, 0302208080. Give me a call and share those very strong and passionate thoughts with me. Or you can find us on our social media handles. We're streaming live on Facebook. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, I can't seem to hear the caller. 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame. Can you hear me?
Your voice is very, very low. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clear.
Okay, Babs, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Kwame?
I'll manage. You go ahead.
Okay. So, first of all, I don't know who advised the presidency for not Ramaphosa to come. I personally believe they should have allowed him to come. Then we ambush him like the way Trump ambushed him in White House for him to pay compensation to the returnees. Allow the returnees who came from South Africa to go on demonstration and force him to pay compensation. They have left their job there, their properties are there. Then they will force him. Our journalists will force him for him to pay compensation. That's how it should go. We should ambush him like the way Trump ambushed him. Secondly, Kwame, Minister of Interior, look, every application that you do for a job, the part of health is confidential. So if you come out and say the number of people who have HIV is this, look, those people can sue him. They should consult their lawyers and sue the Interior Minister, because for health sector of any application, that particular column is confidential. And again, Kwame, the applicant, they didn't check themselves before applying. They should have checked themselves before applying for such a job, because this is a national security job. You have to check yourself before applying.
Well, maybe some of them did not know. Anyway, 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name is Yima, calling from Amomole.
Yima, go ahead.
Yes. To start from where my brother ended his submission. The point is, I've heard a lot of conversation that is making around, blaming Muntaka. My brother, Muntaka is part of cabinet, and I don't think he, as an individual, will come out with such communique. It was a government decision. I don't think so. Please, I've heard some of your colleagues, journalists and all that, blaming Muntaka. Muntaka, because Interior Ministry, it involves the police administration and all the security agencies. So this cannot be Muntaka alone. So my advice to the government, because Sam John did similar, the communication minister. So my advice to this government, which happens to be my own government, that they should think through before such communique comes out. Because when we go to the polls to vote, we will not vote for Muntaka as president. So Mr. President, please, before such thing comes out, please, you people must think through. So those of you blaming Muntaka and all that, it's a whole government machinery.
Okay, we appreciate that. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Sam.
Sam, go ahead.
All right. So I wanted to touch a little bit on the South Africa xenophobia bit. Okay, so one of your sister stations, I think GH1 or something, got the opportunity to talk to the leader. I've forgotten her name, the woman. Please, can you help me out?
Which one, please?
Leader of the March protest.
Jacinta also.
Yes. So, I mean, one of our journalists got the opportunity to ask her a few questions. Oh, my God. Even me sitting at home, I was so disappointed. The type of questions she was asking him. It's like they are best friends. Oh. Like the way you said, what are the particular jobs that you think that people are taking? What's your data? What are the statistics on it? You get me? This type of questions, so that we know what we are about.
Yes, 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, bra Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is your friend, Ike Lord.
Ike, go ahead.
Yeah, bra Kwame, pardon me to speak for just 1 minute, then I will be off. I beg you.
Go ahead.
Agri Memorial School, no me pacho years and for money for her. Bra Kwame, we say last your friend is saying Friday, no, I'm catching Palan, so moon for shoemra, or moon shoe Monday. Fridays, when no man boy out for Nama new, from Terra, Mom from Terreno. Monday, oh my ye, had Mrs. Nama, the whole from Telefono, or Monassin Papua, and Mamma Dominazin a good form, and I'm in school move. That's what I mean. And on my cock space, I could find for Webber Bassa or Momato, Sumo, Faman Palano. Dear Mammy, and yet, so what's loud about in and pay an 50 mile panel. Uba, but Canobran on Farmer Cates for Sumo, no Mufanya Gianni Mount. That's why I'm in Pacho, or Moon my wife, Madame Dorothy, or Yeti Maya, a proso.
Yabeka go shim. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Seth. I'm calling from Adekojo.
Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Kwame, I haven't seen the Mutaka issue back from the media and then the public get that knowledge of his pronouncement. But he haven't mentioned anybody. He just said the record of the number of these people are in this health education. It is so it will happen. Yeah, Mr. Kwame, if you want to talk of South Africa, me, I like the way the president, the foreign department is dealing with the South Africa issue. Because if they allow them to come into the country for that, what they are coming to do is going on. Ghanaians will see that the Ghana president doesn't cherish the citizens of Ghana. That will be another. Maybe some people can plot and do something, and then they will take out the situation and go and say that they come Ghana, our president come, this is the way our Ghanaians do against him. So they will go and maltreat our people for there. That one, it is not the best. So the way they postpone the issue into that one there, it is the best way to be decent. Because Ghana cannot be suffering in South Africa and all those things will be happening and then the president will become, if they come, we know how the environment look like. It will be like we are not feeling for Ghanaian citizens in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you too, and thanks for calling 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning. This is Collins from Amamoli.
2-1.
Let me read your chair to listeners and Emmanuel Dazi, Deputy CEO of Corporate Mining. Look, I'm very disappointed about Muntaka and even my party NDC. Farming. Let's be specific. About this 1,300 security recruitment applicant test positive for HIV. It's amazing. Look, we have a say in Aka language that Brebrama Amaniema. We are in this country when President Akufo-Addo and Baumia was in president. 8 good years. We didn't hear any recruitment in our various newspapers and beyond. Today, if NDC is on government, every blessed day, NDC 1, NDC 2, we do everything as if we are angels. Nobody is saying we should hide something behind. But the party people who worked before this government come to power, they are there, suffering to even get access into this security agency. And you are telling the nation that about 1,003 and over. So what about the rest? They should come again.
They should come again indeed. 0302208080. Give me a call and share those very strong thoughts with me. Or send us a WhatsApp on number 0500,202, 0500,202. Or give us a call on 0302208080, 0302208080. I've got some messages in here. I'm going to be reading them very shortly as I await your calls. 0302208080, 0302208080. This one says, good morning, Kwame. I'm Lily from Old Ashoman. I want to ask what the Minister of Foreign Affairs is doing in terms of the Ghanaian who was killed in South Africa on the 30th of June. Well, what I do know is that investigations are seriously ongoing, and I'm sure as and when they get to a conclusion, they would report to Guineans. Good morning, Kwame. For the South African president to think of coming to Ghana when his citizens are behaving like, okay, Big Fredo, I know we are all upset about this, but let's move away from those choice of words. It shows how they think. He should not try it. Okay, Big Fredo, I get it. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Clifford. I'm calling from Teshi.
Clifford, go ahead.
Yeah, so please, I have lots of misunderstandings with what is going on in this country. You know, just this week we had information about service personnel talking about 300 and something Ghana cities. And see how fast he's been processed to court, and probably within a month we'll see justification on the issue. But we are in a country where people have taken state funds and nothing is being done about it. We'll be going to court for the next 4 years, and then the case will die a slow death. and no one will be asking questions. But it being a normal civilian, see how fast tracking you start tracking the issue. Just train them something Ghana cities, which is a lot to do. But people have taken millions of Ghana cities, billions of dollars in cities, and yet nothing is being done about it. But we live in a country when it's a politician, everybody will just say, oh, it's normal. But when it's a civilian, everybody will be talking about it. And it's very sad. It's very, very sad. It's something we have to look up to. And then correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for calling 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Oh, I lost out on this caller, but you can try again. 0302208080. 0302208080. Give me a call and share those very strong thoughts with me, or send us a message on WhatsApp on 0500,202. 0500,202. Brother Kwame, to be frank with you, our leaders do not appear to be serious at all. That's all you say. You don't tell us why you're saying that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Please, Mr. Kwame, my name is Eddie. I'm right here in Committee 19, please. I don't know whether you can hear me loud and clear.
Eddie, I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The weather is not good right now. The clouds are forming, so the rains are coming. So what I'm urging residents is that they should open the waterways. The waterways are choked so that if the flood comes, there will not be any disaster. A lot of people are displaced. People have no homes. Mr. Kwame, it's not easy. If you come to Community 19 here, a lot of people have no place to sleep, and the rains are setting in once again. People say June is not going to be. I think that weather forecast is predicting another heavy storm. So please, they will flood. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Eddie, for calling 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Asari. I'm calling from Laboni.
Go ahead, sir.
Please, I want to touch on the comment made by the Interior Minister on the recruitment.
Please do.
I think that comment was a bit unfortunate because it's in a way indirectly going to reveal the medical confidentiality of the applicants. Even though names were not mentioned, but assuming I'm an applicant and then I'm waiting for the results. You know, when the medicals are done, normally they don't review your medical status. Sometimes they will just tell you whether you've passed or not, or you'll be called to the next stage. So assuming I'm waiting for my call to the next stage, and information of this nature comes from a person like this to the public, that about 1,300 people have this status. The assumption by the general public will be that once I'm not called, I'm part of those people. So in order to avoid some of these inaccurate assumptions, I think that statement wouldn't have been made at all, just to save the people who applied. Corona is creating unnecessary uncertainty in the atmosphere. So please, I think it will be needful on the part of the minister to probably come out and either clarify or to apologize to the general public that his statement probably might have caused some harm to the applicants. I'm sure because of this, somebody will even leave his or her boyfriend or girlfriend, or someone will be compelled to conduct HIV test because information of that nature has come. Because if the person as of now has not been called and then such information has come out, then it's obvious that either you have it or not. So for me to be clear, if you're my girlfriend, I will tell you that, shall you come? Go and do the test so that I can know your status, so that we can move on. Otherwise, I have every right to say that fine. Because of this, I'm not safe. So maybe you have to call it a quit. So please, I think you have to give it a review.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
It's Francis from Shire Hills.
Francis, go ahead.
I just want to speak in regards of the security recruitment.
Please do.
The fact is that there is no fairness anywhere in this country, especially when it comes to recruitment. Right from the onset, we were told that about 500,000 people applied. At the end of the day, they kept shrinking down the numbers till we've reached 100,000. People went for aptitude tests, and we have all heard the concerns of most of these applicants that most of them were wrongly disqualified. Now we came to Medicaid. Let's assume that 2,000 people have failed their medicals. So the remaining 8,000 who have qualified to the next stage, are we going to confirm that all those 80,000 will be able to get the chance to join the various security services over the 4 years that they are going to be in power. So everything, at the end of the day, some people will be disadvantaged. That's my thoughts on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll probably take a final caller or two. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, let me take a few messages and then we wrap up the conversation. Prof. Wuto has just joined us in the studio. Good morning. In my former place, a chap who left the work because was sick and returned to work and was restored, but his name was on the payroll for 23 years. Every attempt to stop salary failed till I was posted to that branch and I stopped it. Guess what? The ghost went to our head office, so I was called and asked to hold the ghost, and he escaped. So I decided to investigate, and it turned out that one of my field workers impersonated him. He had enjoyed a dead person's salary from 1983 when I was still in primary school. These infractions occur when we have large number of employees and a centralized payroll system. Emmanuel says so. The kind of things that happen in this country. Someone on the lighter note says it resembles your eye. Anyway, probably we can't take any more caller at this point. Remember, you're still live here on Class 91.3 FM. Prof. Wuto has joined us in the studio, and we're going to be getting into the issues very, very shortly as we discuss issues of public health. But you can keep your conversation, your messages coming on WhatsApp number 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. This is Class 91.3 FM.
floods, many people were seen salvaging food items and other consumables from flood waters, with some indicating they intended to consume them. So this raises important questions about food safety, disease prevention, and public health. So from there, the discussion would expand to other everyday health issues, including the responsible use of medicines, nutrition hygiene, disease prevention, mental well-being, and healthy lifestyle choices. The objective is to equip you, the listener, with practical knowledge that will help them or help make you informed with your health decision choices, if you like. This morning, I have the privilege of being joined in the studios by Professor Victor Uto, who is a clinical professor in the Faculty of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences at the University of Alberta, Canada. He is also an associate professor of public health and microbiology at the Bamenda University Institute of Science and Technology, Cameroon, adjunct scholar at the Department of Pharmacy, practice at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, which is at Ho. Now, Professor Victor is a fellow at the Ghana College of Pharmacists. He's chair of the Faculty of Public Health, Ghana College of Pharmacists, vice president of the college, the Ghana College of Pharmacists. He leverages a unique dual doctorate background, combining a doctor of public health with a PhD in biotechnology. In addition, he holds a Master of Business Administration, a Master of Science in Applied Microbiology, and a Bachelor of Pharmacy. It continues. It's a long one, actually. Prof, good morning. Good to have you in the studio.
Oh, thank you so very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I wish I could actually get to the level, the height you've got it. And I'm reading it with excitement on my lip and, the laughter and all of that. I'm sure for someone who is listening to you in the house at this point in time would say that, ooh, that's a lot. You spend quite a lot of your time on education.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that?
Hey, you know what? It's not easy, but when there is the will, you find a way to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Professor Victor Uto is with us in the studios this morning. Anything concerning your health, you want to send in your text messages and, of course, the questions, and then I'll post them right to Prof so that we have them addressed. And as far as medication is concerned, it's one thing to get to see a doctor to prescribe the right medication for you, and it's another you decided on your own to get to the pharmacy or to get to the drugstore to buy whatever medicine, whether that is indeed a right thing to do or not. We'll dive into all of the issues. But Prof, good morning one more time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much, and may I take this opportunity to say a very good morning to your listeners. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. I guess we can first of all start off from the discussion which started sometime last week or so as regards the floods that we witnessed in the country. Now, we saw videos of people salvaging some food items, if you like, from the flood waters. We saw biscuits, we saw sachet of beverages here and there, persons saying that, well, we are going to consume them. The concern generally is that we don't even know if some of these food items have found their way back onto the shelves of Antisena somewhere, her container somewhere. We don't know what we are consuming. What is your take on all of those things that are played out on our screens as far as the flood waters in itself is concerned?
To be very honest with you, and I mean from a pharmacist's point of view, I mean a flood is a public health crisis, and we know that when those things happen, I mean, straight away, I mean, it triggers an increase. There's a spike in the number of people who have infections. That's the gastrointestinal infections like cholera, typhoid, and salmonella infections. And you also there's an increase in injuries, cuts, and stuff like that. And we also have situations where, I mean, the trauma that people go through, losing everything and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is that, you see, floods are not just rainwater. It's a toxic combination or mixture of raw sewage, garbage. So just look at it. I mean, water flowing down, everything comes with it. I mean, there's sewage in there, there is a industrial solvent in there, there are pesticides in there, so it carries everything along. So that water that comes to your home, takes over your vehicle, takes over your house, and everything in the house, it's a very dangerous thing. So to think that you can use a product which has gone through this, it's a very dangerous thing. Even bottles and bottled water and stuff like that, which even has seals on them, they still are not safe. They may look neat and simple, but they are still not safe because the rim of it, if they have the screw caps, there could be contamination there.
Oh, I see.
All right, so it's not a safe thing. I mean, there are a few things that you could probably try to salvage. That most of the things that come into it's not safe. I mean, there's a very high possibility of contamination of those products, so it's not a safe thing to do. And like I said, there are, a typical example of something that you can salvage is if you have a undamaged metal can. All right, I mean, those things could be salvaged, but it has to go through a process. Okay, so you need to take them out, you take off the labels, you wash them with soap and water, and then you also have to through bleach, and then you dry it and give it time. Those are the things you can use.
That's certainly not something you're going to consume.
Exactly. So, like you said, if you see all those things where people are thinking about salvaging them and probably may end up on our shelves, that it's a tough one to even think about.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm here thinking, and it's something that my wife has even told me in the house, and my wife is also in your field actually, that perhaps it is important that whenever I'm coming to work, I bring a pack, like containing my food, because you don't even know the products that you are even going to buy, like the eatery, I should say. You don't even know where they got their food stuff from and all of that. And talking about all of the effects of galamsey and now the floods and what have you, we are not safe in this country. And now you are telling me that the bottle, which has the cap on, it's even not 100% safe.
Not at all. Not at all. Because just think about it. So if you have this water which contains everything, it contains raw sewage, it contains pesticides, it contains, like decomposed bodies, it has all those things. Now, when you dip a bottle of water in it, take it out. Now, water could seep through the seal. You see where I'm coming from? It's not like once you put a cover on it, it's 100%. No, it could. You could have a little bit of water contaminating the seal there, and you open that thing and drink it. You're gulping in microorganisms. You're gulping in pesticides.
How about those beverages that are in sachet, for instance? I don't want to mention a specific brand, but some of them are in sachet. They are sealed. Is it also not safe?
So the issue with those ones is that fine. I mean, if you want to use that, it has to go through a process. You may have to wash that thing with soap and hot water. You may have to dip them in bleach. You may allow them to dry before you have some level of certainty that, okay, this is something I can use. But why do you want to go through all that? And still there's a possibility of getting an infection or getting something.
Yeah.
So the ideal thing is to probably, most things, you just forget about them. You've gone through a lot. You don't want to add anything to it.
But Doc, that's a serious one. I mean, like you said, why would you want to go through all these processes, in terms of ensuring that it's safe for your consumption? It's sealed, all right. You take it out of the flood waters, you subject it to all the bleaching agents or the bleaching processes and what have you, and you think that it's safe to consume it. You don't even know whether or not the water has been able to penetrate into the products in the sachet that you are going to consume. So, at this point in time, what can we do? Because it's an issue of public concern. The Ghana Health Service has said it, that we should be on the lookout. But for you and I, maybe, I mean, you are a professional in the field, but let me take myself as an ordinary Ghanaian. What would I do, or what would I need to know in terms of ensuring that I'm safe out there, in terms of the product that I'm buying out there, to know that it is not coming from the flood waters? That would be a difficulty.
That's a very difficult one. I mean, like your wife said, she had to pack food for you to bring to work. It's a safe thing to do at this point in time. And you just have to rely on boiled water. Use your aqua taps to make sure the water is clean. And bottled water. Those are the things you probably will have to rely on now. But also, like you said, you see, if people are salvaging stuff like that and reselling that is a very difficult one. There is no way you can tell whether what you are buying is actually contaminated or not. But we just believe and trust that we all do the right things as citizens of this country to protect our country. That's all we want to believe that.
Do you foresee the looming, so to speak, of any waterborne or vector, borne disease, like we say?
That's
cholera,
that's expected,
typhoid.
Right? Yeah, it's expected. It's expected. I mean, look. The most recent one, 2023, the Akosombo floods that happened. We saw a spike in the cholera. We saw a spike in typhoid. There was a spike in the malaria. There was a spike in skin infections. All those things happen because, like I said, look, that water that is the floods coming, it's just a complete mixture of everything in there. All right. So if you get in touch with you, like I mean, when I see people swimming in those waters, it scares me because I mean you're exposing yourself to just too many things out there. I mean, you could have cholera, you could have typhoid, you could have severe diarrhea, you could have dysentery, and then I mean when the water starts receding, I mean any stagnant pool of water, I mean malaria becomes another problem altogether. All right, and if whilst people are you have a cut and then you have this water, because some bugs that would infect you, and some of them are not fun. And another thing that I think about strongly, which is that, look, if I assume a young man takes a loan from the bank to buy a car or buy a house, and then within a month or two you have this flats, everything is gone. Can you imagine the mental status of that young man, the impact on him or her for the rest of their lives? You know, so mental health is also another angle that we as a people will have to take serious, because this isn't fun. It's a lot of fear.
So, Prof, what would you advise, for communities which were hard hit by the floods, where we saw people, trying to salvage some of these food items or products, and those who, because a lot of them are exposed, they've been exposed, even though perhaps we are not really hearing the stories now, but we're talking about the possibility of the outbreak of cholera, the typhoids, and what have you. What would you advise persons who perhaps have consumed some of these products that they salvaged from the floodwaters in terms of ensuring that they are safe?
So if you have already consumed it, you want to be on the lookout for some red flags. Okay, so if you do have fever that doesn't go away after 24 hours, especially with children, you want to head to the hospital. If you have bloody stool, or if you throw up there is blood in, you have to head to the hospital. If you have a cat that is getting swollen, is not responding to your normal treatment, you have to head to the hospital. And those are some of the things you have to be looking out for. But if you haven't consumed it, please, as much as possible, please don't abstain. and that is where we would expect that NADMO will step in and probably provide some relief, and also our churches, our communities will step in to help people who are going through very tough time. That's the minimum we can do for them.
Right. So you heard it. If you are from any of the communities that were hard hit by the flood, and of course, there's also the other side. Those communities, of course, there are the provision shops there. There are these businesses there, and they don't know what they are buying from these shops. Would you advise that perhaps authorities there take up the whole thing, take up the issue, and subject residents in the town or the community to some health screening of a sort? Because for me, and where I live in Tema, around the Gulf City area, we didn't experience the flood, so I can say that, let me feel easy, at ease to go to a shop to buy. Maybe I'm safe. But for communities that were hard hit by the flood waters, generally the population there are at risk. Would you advise the authorities there, or the Ghana Health Service perhaps, to move in and subject residents in the area to some health screening of a sort?
It won't be a bad idea, but you see, at this point in time, what we are looking at is we know some of things are going to happen. So I think the public health aspect of the relief system has to kick in, and then we have to start screening carefully, and then let people know that once you have any of those red flags that I mentioned, you have to head to the hospital and be taken care of. The earlier some of those things are caught, the better the outcome.
Right.
I am just if you think about it carefully, over the years we've had the floods and like I always say, we know the floods will come. 2027 is coming. It will come. All right. What we cannot afford is
distorting the dreams. Now that's
what we can afford is another set of excuses. All right. So, if I had that's what I'm looking at it. Look, if you look at all the places that are, like perennial, consistently every year they encounter those things, I would recommend that probably we vaccinate those people, like 1 kilometer away from those hot zones. Give all of them cholera vaccines. Give all of them typhoid vaccine. Give all of them the things that we need. All right. You can give a hepatitis A and vaccine. That's probably about 20 years kind of thing. You give them typhoid. You have 3, 4, 5 years protection. You give them cholera. You protect them. All right.
I see.
So that even if it does happen, which will happen,
protected.
They have the vaccine in there to help them. So this is some of the things we should be looking at as a country. because it's going to happen, like I said. So those are some of the things I think we should be looking at.
Yeah, and I think it's laudable. I mean, the proposal that you are espousing this morning. So over to the authorities, over to you. If you live within any of these hard-hit communities, as far as the flood is concerned, over to you. You know what to do. You want to advise yourself. But in case you just tuned in, this is Class 91.3 FM. We're having a special conversation regarding yourself, myself, and all of us, our health. And it's very important because somebody once said, if you have good health, then you have wealth, isn't it? But the text line of us, the WhatsApp line is 0500,202. Any questions that you have that you want to post to Prof this morning? He has all the time this morning until 10 to address them. So you want to send in your messages now, and then definitely I'll read them out. I'll pose the questions to Doc for you. But that said, Doc, let's talk about something that has got to do with your field, more specifically, self-medication. So I'm experiencing some mild headache. We know the para is there. We know the Gibidol, isn't it? We know all of those painkillers are there. But yet you are telling us, or health experts tell us, that self-medication isn't a good thing. What's going to be the reason for which, if I am experiencing a certain symptom, and I know that I can go to the drugstore, I can go to the pharmacy to get some medicine, to take, and I know that I'll be relieved of whatever symptom that I'm experiencing. Why would you tell me not to self-medicate?
Now, it's an interesting question. I mean, there's the reason why people self-medicate is, it's just out of convenience, and also the thought of going to the hospital, the fees, and all that kind of time. But you see, the truth of the matter is that, look, if you had a hard day job and you have a slight headache,
that's normal, isn't it?
That's normal. But you see, if you have to be taking a painkiller every day for headache,
why is it risky?
It's risky because technically you may be doing that, you may be masking something more dangerous. All right, I'll give you a typical scenario. I shouldn't be saying. Look, if you have a patient who is every day coming for pain medication for headache, today this medication, they see another doctor, they write this medication, and then I had a chat with the lady. I said, hey, what's happening here? Why are you? I said, look, I have headaches every day. I said, no, it's not right. You can't be having headaches. You are masking something. And I said, can we get a second opinion? She went to see another physician, recommended I get a scan, and then she had a grade 4 brain cancer. All right.
Brain cancer.
Yeah, brain tumor was there. Brain tumor was there because you've been on pain medication for all the time. You move from that physician to the other physician, go to this pharmacy, go to that pharmacy. You're buying different pain medication for headache. So technically speaking, if that person had gone to see the physician at when those things started and they did a scan and whatever, they could have caught that early. That's why self-medication is a problem. And sometimes you may think that you have malaria. The symptoms you may be having could be typhoid. But because some of them are similar, you may think they have malaria, but you may actually have typhoid. And we've seen that over and over and over, where people think they have malaria, they just go buy the medication, they take, it doesn't resolve. Some of them will take a second, it doesn't work. Before they go and test for typhoid, typhoid is there. You've allowed the disease to progress to a very long stage. You don't want that. And that's why for me, I always say that if you want to take even anti-malaria, there is a need for you to do the test. You do the test. If it's positive, you treat it. If it's not positive, you don't treat it. So those are some of the things we need to understand, that self-medication, there are dangers in there. You could just get away with it. Like I said, if you have headache, you come to work, a tough day, then look, you take 24 hours is working fine. But consistently, no. And if you have to be taking like the Gibidol, you have to be taking like ibuprofen and some of these diclofenac products. If you take it consistently, for a long time, you are exposing yourself to ulceration of your GIT. So that could cause ulcer. All right? And if you have to use paracetamol every day, 4, 5, 8, 10 tablets continuously, you're damaging your liver. So that's why self-medication is not the best thing. Like you said, the ideal thing is to speak to a healthcare professional. If you have a community pharmacy, you go to your community pharmacy and your pharmacist knows you. And if you are using too much of it, you just catch it easily and let you know. Let's look at something else. And if you want your physician knows about it, let them know. But I think that self-medication is a very interesting thing, and if I had this thing, I'll say that it's something we have to avoid as much as possible.
Let's look at it this way. So headache, we're talking about headache, for instance. which has become common. Every now and then you are stressed, you get headache, you go through some activity, some rigorous activity of a sort, you get a headache, and it's become so normal with us as a people. Because I live here, I come here as early as 5 a.m., I leave here as late as whatever time. I get home, I'm stressed, I'm having headache, and what have you. I've been to the hospital several times, and yet, doctor tells me that you are stressed, you need to sleep a lot. I sleep a lot, yet I'm still having the symptom. And you are telling me that I shouldn't cultivate the habit of going to the pharmacy, of getting a painkiller, and, regularly. Because I've been to the doctor already. The doctor says that you're only stressed. You need to sleep more. I have slept for a longer period of time. But I'm not seeing an improvement in my situation. How then do I deal with the situation? It's a difficult one, Prof.
I'll seek a second opinion. I seek another opinion with another physician. That's what I would do. I'm not going to be taking paracetamol or whatever every day because of a headache. There's something there. There's something technically there. So even if it's like you're not getting enough sleep and that's what is precipitating, then we have to look at it. You're not getting enough sleep. You need your sleep hygiene. We need to look at that carefully. You need a digital curfew. Whatever time you drop if you want to go to bed every time with your phone on and all that kind of thing.
And all those contribute to the reason why we are having these symptoms.
Definitely.
We have the social media, the TikToks are there, which my mom, who is almost 80, that old lady is always on TikTok to the extent that 12 a.m. she will call me. I've seen this on TikTok. It's interesting, and she tends to learn a lot from TikTok. What would you advise such people? Especially when you get to a certain age, of your time on earth, in terms of how the length of period you spend online, social media, because it's come to stay. What would you advise such persons to do?
The old ones, they are the more difficult ones to deal with. All right.
Why is this so difficult?
Hey, come on! They'll tell you. Look, I've seen it all. Come on, they'll tell you I've seen it all. And they'll ask you, how many more years do I have to live on? Those are the things they'll ask you. Very interesting, but they are the tough, difficult ones to deal with. At a point in time, you just have to try your best. But you can convince that they become stubborn at that age. But for me, to the other angle is the younger generation, the young ones there. That is where my biggest challenge is. And when they do that, they go to bed very late, they wake up very early, they go to school, they can't concentrate, and it affects their academic work kind of thing. Those are some of the things we need to talk. We need to find a way to regulate the use of cell phones and stuff like that. And I know some countries are trying to block the social media things. On one side of it, I think it's a fair deal, because if you are producing a generation of young ones in the next 5-10 years who, they're glued to their phone. They go to work. That's what they become addicted to it one way or the other. So, we need to have a digital curfew. That at this point in time, my phone has to go off. I may have to drop it and then lie in bed for a little while before I finally drop off. There's some chemicals are involved with them, melatonin and all those come into play, and the blue rays and all those things. So we need a digital curfew, and we also need to understand that. By doing that, it's affecting your quality of sleep. And if you don't sleep well, you wake up the next morning, you feel tired, you are not in the mood, you go to work, you get angry over stupid things that shouldn't make you angry. You're angry already because didn't get enough sleep. So we need to take them serious. Yeah.
Doc, let's talk about malaria. And it was something you said that actually caught my attention. That, of course, we understand that before you do or effect any treatment for malaria, you need to get to the hospital or have yourself checked. First of all, get to know that the parasite is in there, for which reason you are administering a certain medicine. Here we are, and I'm talking about my little boy, and I'm sure a lot of people can actually relate to some of these things. Here we are with a little boy who has been exposed to mosquito bites, not even home, from school. He comes back home with all the, so to speak, the lacerations on his body, and you can tell that these are mosquito bites because the school authorities have told you that because of where the school is located, we constantly would have to fumigate, spray the area and all of that. But he has the bite all around his skin. You go to the hospital, you go to the pharmacy nearby, and they do the test, and yet they find nothing. Yet they tell you to come back again and check again. You go and they find nothing. But you know very well that your son, your daughter, or somebody was exposed or has had some mosquito bites. Would you still advise the person not to administer the medication? Because I asked this question because I had a back and forth with my wife in the house who says no, she wouldn't advise, she wouldn't want us to administer the medicine to him, and that she wants another check down on him before anything else. Would you also advise him?
I agree with your wife.
Oh,
I do.
No, but the little boy was exposed.
Being exposed does not mean you're going to get malaria. Okay? getting a mosquito bite does not mean you're going to get malaria. Okay, and when they perform the test, it could probably do with the stage of the parasites in the system. That's why they want to repeat it at the point in time. And the question is, look, if you are not sick, why do you want to take medication? If the child is not sick, why do you want to give
But
him
don't
medication?
you say sometimes it's hidden somewhere?
No, that is how you will look at it. But I mean, I'm on the same page with your wife. I agree. I mean, I would treat it if there is a need for it. The symptoms may be there, but it may be a different medical condition altogether. So that's why you do the test. You do the RDT test to see if it tests, and if it's not, then there's no need to treat it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't have a false negative results. You could have a false negative. That's also positive. But that's why they say that you have to repeat it, and chances are that if you repeat it, you're not going to get a false.
How many times would you advise that you do the test to be sure?
No, to be honest with you, if let's say my child is has been exposed to malaria, to mosquitoes, and he doesn't show any sign of being sick, I'm not even going to test.
So, Doc, you would wait for him to be hit or to be struck down?
Not to be hit, just monitor. I mean, malaria doesn't just start all of a sudden and you end up in an emergency. No, it doesn't happen like that. So if you start running a fever, then yes, okay. I mean, we want to do a test now and see what's happening. But I'm not going to be medicating the child, because otherwise you keep medicating the child every week or every month because they're going to be exposed to it. But don't also forget that, I mean, you get malaria, you get bitten. Your body, at a point in time, your body is able to fight some of those things on its own. All right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, definitely.
So it's not the case that once you were bitten by mosquito, and over the period you didn't do any treatment, definitely you are going to be hit, or you are going to be
not at all.
by malaria.
Not at all. Not at all.
I get it.
No, otherwise, every Ghanaian, or about 90% of us, will be taking malaria treatment every week.
Yeah. And there are consequences, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, every drug has side effects, right? Every drug has side effects. And why do you want to take a drug if you don't need it? And also, if you're maybe a pregnant woman or you're a breastfeeding woman, I mean, you want to take medication, because most of those medications can go through the plants that get to your baby, and some of them breastfeeding, it gets to your breast and it gets to your baby. So you don't want to take those chances. So you only use it when there's the need for it.
It's an important discussion we're having this morning. It's still Class 91.3 FM. In here with me in studios is Professor Victor Wuto. My name is Charles Akrofi. You can send in your messages. I'm seeing quite a number of your messages coming in now. If you have any questions for Prof this morning, we're having a general conversation about your health. And of course, your health, my health is very important. And so if you have any questions, you can send in those messages now on 0500,000 202. If you like, 0500 000-202. In due time, I would also open the phone lines, and for you who are listening now, if you have any questions that verbally you would want to post to Prof in the studios, you can do so that we can have you and I, our concerns addressed right here on this platform. Tied to the conversation we are having this morning is what we call the antibiotic resistance, isn't it? So you take a certain medication over a period of time. What do you call it? You call that, is it resistant strain?
Resistance.
Yes.
They become resistant. Yeah.
Yes. At a point in time, your body's, I mean, the antibodies, so to speak, are unable to work hand in hand to fight whatever condition you're harboring within your system. Isn't it the case? Let's talk about antibiotic resistance, which is becoming a major concern worldwide. And why is it important to use antibiotics only as prescribed?
So let me explain this carefully here. So what happens is that if you have an infection, all right, you take an antibiotic, you expect the antibiotics to get in the system and kill the bacteria. Or if I'm taking bacteria as a command, it gets in the system. Some of them will kill the bacteria. Some of them will inhibit the activities of the bacteria and stuff like that. Now, if let's say that you're supposed to take one tablet twice a day for 7 days, and you take one tablet twice a day for 1 day, all right. Now, you may not have reached a critical level to kill all the bacteria,
but it would kill some.
It will kill some.
Okay.
All right. Then what happens is that those other bacteria which are there, they'll
multiply.
They won't multiply. They'll take a look at the drug there, and then they do what we call, they mutate. Okay. They will mutate and find a way to outwit your antibiotic, so that tomorrow, when you have an infection and use the same antibiotic, it's not going to work on them, because the antibiotic is affecting a mechanism in the microorganism. So if the microorganism is able to mutate and develop a strategy that will, they can even develop a chemical that will fight your bacteria.
Are they scientists?
Oh, no. I mean, microorganisms are very, very smart. Very, very smart.
Wow.
Our microorganisms are very, very smart. We underrate them. They are very, very smart. And look, it takes about 10 years or so to develop a new antibiotic. So if we are,
years.
it takes about 10, sometimes more, and millions of dollars to get to that point where you have a new. And when was the last time we had a new antibiotics on the market? All right. So it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to get to that point. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are taking our antibiotics appropriately so that we don't induce that tendency of the microorganism being resistant. If we don't, we get to the point where, in the years back when a simple infection can kill you, we'll get to that point, because if we use up all the antibiotics wrongly and the microorganisms are able to outwit us and find strategies to become immune to resistant to them, we are getting into big trouble.
Okay, so I'm to take 1-3 times a day. I took just once, one time daily.
Absolutely not. It's not the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. You see, we have a challenge there. Look, you go to the hospital, you have the prescriber gives you a prescription for maybe 21 capsules, one capsule 3 times a day for 7 days. Now, you don't have money to buy, so you go and buy maybe for 3 days. The question that the pharmacist will have to figure out, okay, do I sell the 3 days to you and hope you come back, or I don't sell it and ask you to come back to buy all the 7 days? It's a dilemma. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one.
Why? Why is it difficult? Because at the end of the day, you need to help the person as a pharmacist
so
yourself.
The question you ask yourself is, by giving them maybe the 2 or 3 days, are you helping the person? Maybe not. Are you helping the system? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Because those, maybe the 2-3 days will not be enough to kill off the microorganism. The microorganism become resistant. You have introduced a bigger problem into the community globally. So that's how you have to look at it as a pharmacist. So those 2 days, the patient may think that maybe 2 days. If you have a patient that visits your pharmacy consistently, you know them, you establish a relationship with them, which is what community pharmacists actually do. We are part of the community. Yeah. You can have a discussion about that and say, okay, you give them 3 days and then you call them in the next 2 days, or you give them and call and make sure that they complete their call. Look, there have been times that you just have to give it to them because you don't want them to break that cycle. You want them to complete the treatment. All right. So it's a big challenge, and there's no right and wrong answer for this, but the ideal thing is to take it for the period that your physician wants you to take it for, and the conditions and the regimen that is being prescribed for.
You speak to some of these people and they tell you that, well, I don't have the money to purchase all the drug in full. You get to the pharmacy and drugs are costing a lot of money, but yet I have the condition, I have the disease, the symptoms are showing, I'm unable to take care of it, which is a reason why a lot of people, and this is my own observation, a lot of people have resorted to, let me finish with this one, even though I'm to take it for 5 days, let me take it for 3 days, which is what my money can afford. When I'm done with that, I will resort to some herbal medication. I get to the store by the roadside, I get some herbal medication. I'm good.
Like I said, it's a tough one saying that's the right thing to do. But for me as a pharmacist, what our advice is you try and complete your treatment as prescribed, and you are also introducing another angle to the whole conversation about herbs and stuff like that. I wish we have it.
We have time
to talk about that.
We have time to get into that, because it is one area of interest to me as well. Because I know of a patient, so to speak, someone who is suffering a liver condition. This is somebody who lives a very good, so to speak, lifestyle. Doesn't take in alcohol, the kind of food she eats, she's careful with them, and all of those things. Yet she gets to the hospital and she's told that your liver is inflamed. The doctor asks, do you take in alcohol? And then they did all of those tests and they realized that no. And she's careful with what she takes into her body. Yet she's having this condition. So it was a doctor who further interrogated her and asked if she was on some herbal medication. And then she said, yes, the medicines that are being given to me at the hospital to manage my blood pressure isn't helping. And I think I'm fed up with it. I barely sleep. I barely am active. But I was recommended this herbal medication by someone who says, a lot of them these days call themselves doctors, medical doctors. Someone who has specialized, or because of the fact that the person had a certain training from the dad who used to do herbal stuff, the person has grown with it and calling himself a doctor. And there's a testimony from somebody here who says that I took this herbal medication and it's helped me, so you to do it. You try it 1 week, you are not seeing anything, and the person keeps telling you that continue doing it. So hers is as a result of the intake of the herbal medicines that was prescribed, or that was actually recommended to her by someone else. How are we able to juggle these two situations where you go to the pharmacy, you are told what to take, but yet you are not seeing the effect of same, and so you tend to listen to a friend who says that this one has helped me, so go on the herbal, treatment.
Let me take this 3 different points. Number one, look, every drug has side effects. So sometimes when I hear people say that this is a natural product, it's a herbal product, doesn't have side effects, I tell them you don't know what you're talking about here. Now, why is a herbal product able to give you the results you want? It gives the result because it contains an active ingredient. And Western medicine or orthodox medicine also contains an active ingredient. So if we say that every drug has side effect, it means that your herbal product could also have side effects. We have to forget about that story. I don't know how we got into our heads that herbal products are natural, they don't have side effects. They do have side effects. And like you said, the typical example is what you just mentioned here. All right. Now, so that story has to end somewhere. And you speak to people who are highly educated and they still tell you that, oh, this is a natural, it's a herb, it's a natural product that doesn't have side effect. I'm sorry, it does have side effect. Every drug has side effect. Now, let's go to point number 2. Now, combining orthodox medication and herbal medication, there's a risk there. Okay, I mean, I'll give you 2. Number 1, now let's say you are taking a drug that has a side effect and is hard on your liver. Western or orthodox medication, prescription medication, which is hard on your liver, and then you are also taking a herbal product which is also hard on your liver. What are you doing to your liver? All right. Now let's say that. So you could potentiate the impact on your organs by combining Western medicine and then the herbal product. There's another angle to that. Maybe the herbal product has the ability to increase some. Let's say a typical example: if you are taking aspirin or warfarin to thin your blood, and you're also taking the herbal product that also thins your blood, you stand a chance of bleeding. You may think it's just a fun. You stand a chance of bleeding. All right. And sometimes when you take your orthodox medication together, herbal products, what happens is that they get into your stomach and then your medications get adhered to each other. Okay, so they just get adhered to each other and remain in the stomach, so the body doesn't absorb it. So the body doesn't absorb your orthodox medication. It doesn't even absorb your diesel because there is an interaction between the two of them in the system. All right. So those are some of the things we need to look at when we are combining them. We need to combine them. We need to talk to your pharmacist. You need to be sure about what exactly you are taking. But ideally, combining them is not the best bet. Ideally, it's not.
What should be the relation between the pharmacist and community folks in terms of ensuring timely and timely delivery of their service to the community people? What kind of relationship should the community people have with the pharmacist?
So, community pharmacists, you are part of the community. You are on the street with the people. You know them by name. You know their families. You know their children. You know everybody in the community. You are part of the community, so you are one of them. That's what community pharmacy is all about. I mean, if you practice to the point where you know everybody in your community by name and they know you to meet at the marketplace, they call you, and then you know you're actually in the community. So at that point in time, it goes beyond just providing a service to it's like a family. It's a relationship you have there. So community pharmacy, you are having a relationship with your community. So their concerns become your concerns. Their headache becomes your headache. That is how it goes. So that relationship develops to the point where they will give you a call at all times. There's something, they need something.
Doc, I'm getting, and I keep saying Doc.
I'm all right. Doc. My name is Victor. I'm happy with that.
Anyway, I'm getting a lot of messages on our console this morning. People talking about diabetes. And, okay, so maybe let me just pull some of the questions.
Sure.
This one here says that I'm Frederick from Sprintex. I'm taking metformin for my diabetes. How does it help control my blood sugar? What side effects should I expect? And okay, this one is a bit mixed up. So metformin for diabetes control. How does that control your blood sugar?
You know the whole idea about diabetes is sugar, insulin, and stuff like that. And I don't want to use the. I mean,
so let's address this. Is it treatable or is it manageable? Because I've heard some herbal doctors say that, oh, we can't treat it. And the media is also involved. We give the platform to all of these persons, and then they come on the platforms, and then they espouse a lot of things. I can treat your diabetes. Is it treatable?
So let me tell you something here. If let's say you are borderline or your results are just above the border, and then you make you take drastic steps about what you eat, your lifestyle, what you drink, and all those things. Look, you could go back and have a test, do your A1C and do your other thing, and it will be way below the expected range. At that point in time, if you continue with whatever you are doing right, I mean, yes, I mean you will be out of it, but it doesn't mean that you treated it. You just changed your lifestyle and did a lot of things right. But if you have diabetes, full-blown diabetes, and then you manage it, what you do is to manage the diabetes to the point where your quality of life is intact. You can do whatever you want to do. Metformin, yes, is one of the very first drugs that they use in the treatment of diabetes. It does work if the dose is right, if your level is okay. But if you have a full blown with the A1C levels and your random levels are very high, maybe metformin alone will not do it any longer. You may need something else in addition. But metformin is one of the first line of drugs they use in the treatment of diabetes. And what we also know is that metformin has very interesting side effects, especially when you start taking it. You could get diarrhea out of it, or you could get constipation out of it.
I see.
Or you could have stomach cramps and all that kind of thing. Those are some of the side effects. So that's why it's always advisable to take your metformin with food, so that you reduce all those tendencies and with metformin. So yes.
Yeah. Well, quite a number of questions coming through. So maybe let's take the time to address the issues.
Okay.
So this one says that, good morning, class. Prof is indeed learned. Government should make use of him. And I agree. I agree. My question, the pharmacists are happy we come to them, so they would not advise us to go to the hospital. Can there be any guidelines from the Pharmacy Council to regulate this? Some pharmacies only change medication for clients if the previous ones they gave do not work and the cycle continues, especially in my countryside. It's coming from K. Afemiele.
Afemiele.
We are home.
We are home. Yeah.
So yes, that's what.
So
he says.
I mean, it's an interesting question there. But you see, the community pharmacy or the pharmacist in the community has a responsibility, and he's been trained to do a particular job. Now, I don't think that, they are just there to take your money. They are there for a proper reason. Look, if you look at, from the Pharmacy Council, the regulator of the profession, they have guidelines as to what you can do and what you cannot do. All right. Look, it doesn't mean that you could find some pharmacists trying to push go beyond what is expected of them. I am a prescribing pharmacist. All right. So I have a license to prescribe, which means that I can prescribe without any problem in Canada, not in Ghana. Okay. Now, if you practice in Ghana, there are things that you can do. You can treat conditions of common occurrence and stuff. The law allows that. But you have to know that beyond this, you don't want to take people's lives into for a place. So if it's beyond this thing, you just refer. All right. So I would say that, look, your community pharmacy is there for a reason, and they are learned. They know what they are doing. If you disagree with something, just have a chat with them. That's what I believe in. The days where you go to the physician and go to the pharmacy, they give you, take this, go and take. No, those days are past. You have to let me know what you are giving me, why you are giving it to me, and your rationale for giving me that medication or recommending that for me. Then we can talk about, okay, I think maybe I will take it or I won't take it. I have the right to refuse to take it. So those are some of the things we have to get to the point where you don't just give me the medication. We have to tell me why you are giving it to me. What kind of side effects am I expecting? When am I expecting to get some result? That kind of thing.
And in most cases, these pharmacists do not do these things to tell you about the possible side effects and all of that. They don't tell you these things. It is about money as usual, Doc. I'm sure it will be a difficult admission for you.
No, it's look,
someone coming from the field.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My colleagues know where I stand on some of those things. There are a lot of pharmacies going there. You don't even find a pharmacist. It's the MCAs who are there, the medicine center. They are there. Pretending to be pharmacists and giving the wrong medication.
But usually they're under the supervision of a pharmacist.
That's what is expected. But that's what is expected. But how many of the pharmacists do you go and find a pharmacist there? So that is a wake-up call for us pharmacists. We need to start doing what is expected of us. So I believe that yes, there are some pharmacies you go, you only find the MCAs, and they try to dispense medications that they should not even be touching, they shouldn't be going here, and that. So the pharmacists in the community have got to be in their community pharmacies and do what is expected of them. So if they are there, they are providing the services. Yeah, the country benefits, everybody benefits. But if they're going to leave their job at the mercy, leave the citizens at the mercy of people who are not trained, they don't know any pharmacology, they don't know anything about how the drugs work, kind of thing, then that's not the right thing. So I agree. Some pharmacists are not doing what is expected of them, but majority of us, I think we know what is expected of us, and then we try to do the best that we can.
But there are those we term as drugstores as well, or the over-the-counter, operators.
Mm-hmm.
Those persons as well, are they not posing any risk? Because a lot of these persons, I have the money to establish something like that. I establish it, and I get a point that there are certain medicines, of course, you can't sell there, or you can't administer to clients there. But I have the money, and I've been able to establish something. My daughter is from senior high school, just stay there. And common medications, and all of those things. They're also posing risk, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So look, they have a class of medications they can sell there. They are not supposed to be selling prescription only medications, but we know they do, and those are some of the challenges that the regulator is having, and I know they are working hard at it, trying to find a way to solve the problem. But I think that, look, if you are not supposed to be selling a prescription medication, you do sell it. In an area where there's no pharmacy, in an area where there are pharmacies where people can just go and get the right treatment, I think that the regulator should be a little bit harsh on some of these people, because at the end of the day, they are exposing the citizens and the country to an unfortunate situation. So yes, we have the over-the-counter medicine sellers. They have they have a role to play, and they have some kind of medications they can sell. Beyond that, I don't think we should allow them to go beyond that, because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the expertise to be doing that.
Okay. Anyway, so if you just joined in, we're having a conversation with Professor Victor Wuto, who is a pharmacist, and of course, just as the conversation is going, you know that we're talking about your health and mind health, but at this point in time, there are a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on the questions and have all of them addressed. This message here says that if we are exposed to these dangers, or diseases, why is the FDA not issuing a statement, especially in areas where the flood was massive, so that consumers can be on the alert and prevent shops from selling such items to the public? I've seen a lot of shops in Alajo washing these beverages and all sorts for resale.
Just like we said, it's a problem. I don't want to say the FDA is not doing a good job. The FDA is doing their best. They are doing their best, and the Ghana Health Service is also doing a very good job. They are all over the place, and look, we can always say that we can always do better, but I think they are doing their best.
Okay. I'm taking, is it
ibuprofen?
Ibuprofen.
Mm-hmm.
For pain relief.
Mm-hmm.
How often can I safely take it? And are there any risks of stomach irritation, kidney problems, or interactions with my other medications?
So if you are taking ibuprofen, if you take ibuprofen, maybe 400 milligram tablet or 200 milligram, two of them every 8 hours for a day or two to help you out, that's fine. But if you need it every day, then we need to take a second look at why you need ibuprofen for that consistently for a long period of time. Ibuprofen is one of those drugs that could cause ulcer. It could irritate your stomach, it could cause problems there, and that's why it's always advised to take that drug with with a meal to reduce the tendency of the irritation. Because if you take 2 or 3 times, there is a 600 milligram as well. So if you take 3 of the 200 milligrams on an empty stomach, you're going to have stomach cramps. You have a very severe discomfort.
Why would you even take medicine on an empty stomach? We advise you eat before, or there are some medicines you take.
Yeah, there are some medicines you take on an empty stomach. But I tell you what, look, if you are in pain, sometimes if you are in pain, you are throwing up, and that tendency to take that, okay, I need to take something has to go in, is there. But those are things I would say that you talk to your pharmacist about. You make a plan, or say, okay, we'll take this, you take this, try and take something to reduce the tendency to throw up, and then you can take your medication, or take a cracker, drink a little bit of soup and all that kind of thing to help. Those are the things you gotta look at.
Prof, I have an interesting one here for you. It says that, good morning. It's Prof saying if I'm going through severe menstrual pain and I know the medication that will calm me down, I shouldn't take it. And you also know for a fact that when you go to the hospital, the nurses will tell you that you actually don't need any medication or medical attention. What then should I do?
Yeah, if you look, you don't have menses every day. You have menses, you have menses like a week in a month, right? So if you know you have dysmenorrhea, you have a painful menstrual cycle. I mean, this is what we try to do. What we do that is you start a little bit of treatment a few days before your menses, and more often than not, you're able to go through without the cramps. But if you do need, I mean, that is something you don't want to pay. Some of them have very debilitating. You can't do anything. Some women, they have it so bad they can't even do anything. They can't work. They just lie in bed. They are in so much pain. Look, there's nothing you can do about it. You need your pain medication. All right, but then there are other things we can look at. If you're at a younger age and you have that kind of problem, we may decide to put you on a birth control.
Birth control?
Yeah, it does work for some people. We are putting you on birth control not because to prevent you from getting pregnant, but we know that some of those cycles, birth controls can help you with it. So that's why you need to talk. You can't just be going to take medication because you think you have menstrual dysmenorrhea. You can talk to your physician about it. They could prescribe you a birth control pill. It could solve the problem for you.
I see. Well, a lot of questions. At the least count, I'm counting close to 20.
That's okay. Let's talk about it.
And a lot of you guys actually telling us about your condition and the medicines you are using. Okay. I recently started taking, is it lisinopril? Lisinopril for high blood pressure.
Yeah.
So the person wants to know what the side effects he should monitor and how often should I check my blood pressure at home.
So lisinopril is one of the drugs that we use to with the high blood pressure. It's fairly tolerable, but I mean as a class, I mean we have we call them like the ACE inhibitors. I mean they do have side effects as well. You could develop dry cough. Okay, I mean over time which doesn't respond to anything. Your physician just change it to a different drug for you.
Wow.
Okay, those are some of the things. But I would say that look, once you start a blood pressure medication, I would probably check my blood pressure at least probably twice a day to see where exactly I'm going, because you also don't want your blood pressure to drop too low. All right, because you're on medication, and then once you get to see that okay, with this medication my blood pressure is within range, kind of thing, you could probably check, I mean, once a day or twice a week, and I think you get to that point. But initially, if you start a treatment, that's something you want to look out for. And also, if the physician is going to increase the dose or add something to you, want to check your blood pressure more often than not. I normally recommend that. You wake up in the morning, you check your blood pressure. The last thing you do to go to bed, you check it. You have to be consistent with how you check your blood pressure, so that if the drug is actually working, you know it's working. Because if you check your blood pressure in the morning today and tomorrow you check it after doing after a walk of this thing, you're not going to get reliable. The results you can't relate that results to what you are doing in the morning. So ideally, I tell my patients that in the morning and at bedtime you check them consistently. So if you check today, every morning you are checking, and then your blood pressure is reducing, you know that yes, that's what is happening. All right. So consistency over a period of time, and that will give you a good idea. But lisinopril is a very good one. It's well tolerated.
Okay, there are a lot of people who are actually commending you and asking government to give you an appointment.
Oh God.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, Prof. Thank you for this insightful education. The government should tap into his knowledge to benefit the citizens. We need more of this type of public education. Well done, Class FM. Mama Gansi Chopper sent in that message. Mama Ga, you know what we do all the time on this show? We try to, come up with the relevant topics, things that relate to you and I, and get the relevant people to speak to the issue. And, okay, another commendation. Good morning, Class FM. Prof is indeed learned. Government should I think I've read this. Government should make use of him. This one says, wow, what a brain. The government needs to appoint Dr. Wuto as the country's health minister for life. No, but he's deep. Prof is deep, actually. But in a situation where we are running a democratic system where some of these institutions or some of these positions are politically, they are political appointments. Definitely, you would expect that. Even if Prof is appointed on a ticket of a certain political party, another political party comes into power and they will change him. I wish we can actually get there. So he says that he wants you to be a health minister for life to shape the system. I love him, though I don't know him. Kobe Lakeside sent that message. Okay. I've been prescribed omeprazole for acid reflux. How long should I take it? And are there lifestyle changes that could help reduce my symptoms alongside the medication?
Yeah. So omeprazole is we call the proton pump inhibitors. We use them for ulcers. We use them for reflux and stuff like that. So you may have to be on that for a little while, because sometimes with the reflux, if it drags on for a while, you can have a little bit of ulceration there. So you may have to be on your proton pump inhibitor for a little while before these things to heal. And there are a few things you need to understand. Now, with people, I mean, look, some people, when they take spicy food, it gets worse. When they take pop or soda, it gets worse. When they eat oily food, it gets worse. You need to know all the things that make your situation worse, and you have to try and avoid them or limit the use of them as much as possible. I mean, if alcohol makes it worse for you, there's no need for you to go and drink alcohol, or you just have to be very careful about how much. So those are some of the things you need to look out for. I know that spicy food makes it worse for some people. Interestingly, some people, milk make it worse, others milk helps them. With some people, alcohol, spicy food, oily food, and especially sometimes some people do food that contains a lot of those what do we call them, the Maggie cubes and all those this thing. It's one of the biggest challenges that I have with a lot of the things we eat in this country now. But these are some of the things you need to look out for.
All right, so we're having a conversation with Professor Victor Wuto, and of course, it's about your health. I'm getting the indication that a lot of you would want to call onto the show and then pose the questions directly to Prof yourself. I have a lot of questions here, areas that I had wanted us to cover, but maybe let's allow the callers to call onto the show. It's 0302208080, 0302208080. You can call, and then any questions that you have, you can pose the questions to Prof right here in the studios of Class 91.3 FM. Let me say good morning to my wife, who say that they are listening and they love everything you are doing in studio. They say you are doing God's work.
Thank you. Service to humanity, service to God, right?
Anyway, so 0302208080 is the line to call in. Anything you want to share with us, anything you would want clarity on from Professor Victor Wuto, who is in the studios with us, you can do that, and definitely you'll have all the issues answered right here. It is not like those platforms, those TikTok platforms where you find people, and some of the professionals, they're on TikTok and giving education. I understand, but sometimes because my wife is in the field, sometimes when she hears the kind of prescription, they give out to certain conditions, certain medications, my wife is like, no, pharmacy council needs to check these things and what have you. It's I understand that we are using social media to actually help the people out there, but it's a bit problematic when some of these persons prescribe medicine for you and tell you at all costs to go. I ask myself the question, you are a professional, you should know better. And they mention their names, they mention the facilities where they are working, and I'm asking myself the question, are the authorities not seeing these people at all? Anyway, Prof, so Bonti Benjamin, it says, okay, so it's Kwame. Dwomoh is actually out. Right, I understand I have a caller. Bonti, I'll come back and read your message, but I have a caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, maybe you would want to call back. Let me try one more time. Also, should I try one more time? Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Randy from Medina.
Randy, let me hear you. Prof is here.
Prof, good morning. I wish I have your brain. Anyway, that's by the side. So let me say I'm a student. I do, a lot of horses. So sometimes I take a lot of painkillers just to, calm the body down. But I've stopped for some time because I was told that too much of it, it has side effects. So I started using some ointments. So I want to ask if it's a good thing, or is there something doc will advise me to do? So instead of the painkillers, I just use the ointment. After bath, I just apply the ointment and, I sleep.
Prof.
Yeah, that's I'm happy that he listened and stopped taking the pain medication consistently. See, the other thing about ointment and this and that, look, when you apply, so if you have a knee pain and you apply the drug on your knee, okay, it gets absorbed in there in the knee. All right, even though sometimes it goes into the body, the system, the level of the side effect, generally the side effects are limited. They are more because the drug you are applying straight on where it's needed. So if you have to apply a pain medication and ointment on a particular point in your body, I mean, that is a better deal than taking a tablet that goes into your system, gets absorbed, and it has effect on your whole general body. All right, so applying it there is a better option. But if you have to apply it every day, then we need to probably take a look at the situation. Why are you in pain every day? We've got to figure it out. All right. So yeah, that's what I would tell him. But I'm happy he stopped taking the pain medications every day and applying ointment now. But even the ointment, the question I need to ask is, what kind of ointment is it? What does it contain?
Okay. Anyway, I understand we have another call online. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Boss, your name and where you calling from?
I'm Fred. I'm calling from Ashama.
Fred from Ashaiman. Let's hear you. Prof is in the studios with us.
My greetings to all of you.
Thank you.
Please, I want my son to be a pharmacist. So I want the school, pharmacy school. If you can give me some of it.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, currently I think we have about 7 or 8 pharmacy schools in Ghana. Proper pharmacy school. Yeah, we have a pharmacy school. We have KNUST has a pharmacy school. Legon has a pharmacy school. Cape Coast have a pharmacy school. We have a pharmacy school at Entrance. We have a pharmacy school at Central. I mean, we have pharmacy schools all over the place. And
Legon,
I mean, my biggest.
Legon has a pharmacy school.
Come again? We didn't get that.
Legon.
Oh, Legon.
Yeah, Legon does have a pharmacy school. Legon has a pharmacy school. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. 0302208080. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, my name is Seth. I'm calling from Ajekoje.
Seth, kindly raise your voice a bit for me. Prof is here. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Prof. So more grace to your elbow. You are trying the wonderful thing this morning. Yeah, Prof. I know you have the Pharmacy Association in Ghana. As for your intellectual this thing you are doing there, I haven't been noticing those pharmacists association doing this kind of intellectual to educate people online like this. You are trying best. I want to ask, we have a dietitian, and how relationship between dietitian and the pharmacist in the country? Because you are talking about the painkiller. People normally use the painkiller. I know dietitian educate people that there is a food when you are eating, you will not be concentrating on the painkiller. That is my question.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We have the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, which is our association. I mean, PSG is doing a good job actually. I mean, they are all over the place. Maybe you haven't I come into contact with them, but I mean, I know they are in the media. They are on the ground, doing a very good job. I mean, yeah, that is the association I belong to, and I can vouch for them. I mean, being here, even though I'm here, I'm still a member of the PSG, so we take it like that. Now let's look at the other question that he asked about dietitians and the pharmacists and stuff like that. Look, so in the pharmacy, if you have a patient who comes to you and then after having a discussion with them, you think that they need to see a dietitian, we refer.
I see.
Because I mean, they are trained in a very unique way, different from the kind of knowledge we have. All right, so that is why referral is very important for us in the community pharmacy. So if you have a patient who needs help with maybe orthopedic, or they need something with orthotics, you need somebody with a nutritionist, they need some help with a dietitian, all you have to understand that it is beyond your scope of practice, it's beyond your level of understanding and what you can manage, and then you refer them to dietitian. I mean, dietitian is a diet, they specialize in the diet and that kind of thing. So more often than not, my diabetic patients, I work hand in hand with a nutritionist or dietitian.
Okay.
All right, so that I bring my knowledge from all the pharmacy, all the other things, and then the dietitian joins, and sometimes we have a common clinic together with the patients, and we're able to get good results. So that's what we do in the community pharmacy.
Okay. All right, so this is Class 91.3 FM. My name is Charles Akrofi, and of course, I'm sitting in for Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang. So a question just came in. I was going to introduce the next subject, so to speak, or the next topic, mental health, actually. But this one says, Charles, good morning. I have a friend, when he takes in any soft drink, he either gets painful rashes, painless rashes, and pains in his penis. So he's stopped taking it, is it safe?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you got a question.
I got a question. Yeah, so let me tell you something. I mean, there are some people who cannot drink milk because once they drink milk, they have some reactions. All right, and some people cannot stand perfume. When you use perfume around them, they have reactions. They are allergic to it, or there's something in there that's causing the problem. So, if there's something in the product that is causing the problem, and he doesn't experience it when he stops, I mean, fair deal. I will stop taking it. All right. If, let's say, so many things are causing the problem, then probably you need to talk to an allergist, and they'll have to do a test to find out what you are reacting to. But if you stop taking the pop or the soda, and then your problem doesn't come, I'm more than happy to stop it. I mean, your life is more precious than a bottle of Coke.
Your life is more precious than a bottle of Coke, Prof actually says. Let's talk about mental health, and we have just about less than 6 minutes to wrap up this morning's conversation. But mental health is increasingly becoming a concern. So the question then is, how does stress in itself affect physical health, and what practical steps can people take to improve their mental health? And when I talk about mental health, this morning I was having a conversation with Kwame when we started the morning show that, look, men go through a lot. Of course, we understand we all go through a lot, but the man leaves the house, gets to the office, work, comes back, and whether or not there is something for the family to feed on, the man would have to work his, so to speak. He would have to be a bulldozer to ensure that he gets things going for the family. So the stress, pretty much a lot of it is on us. I know the ladies would actually contend this, but this is me and this is my position. And we hear that sometimes some of these things could actually play out in terms of your mental well-being. How big a deal should mental health, be of a concern to us as a people?
Yeah, I gave you a typical example after the flood, and like a young person who has just started work, and you take a loan to buy a car or to buy a house, and then the water within a matter of months takes. I mean, can you imagine what that person is going through?
Yeah.
That's a lot for that person. All right. So mental health is something we take for granted. I mean, stress. Yes, I mean, you go through stress every day, but if the stress becomes chronic, every day you are stressed, all right, there are a lot of implications on that. It could have effects, it could have effects on your sleep pattern, all right? It could result in cardiovascular problem. You can develop hypertension because you are stressed every day going on. I mean, you get pissed off over funny things when you are stressed, and you go home and your child wants to play with you. You are pissed off because you're stressed. The child hasn't done anything to you. All right, but you just want to vent on somebody, and you go vent on your spouse at home for nothing. So I mean, stress is something we need to take. Mental health for me is something that we are not doing very well at it as a country. All right, I mean, how many psychiatric hospitals do we have in Ghana? You can count them. All right, how many rehabilitation homes do we have in Ghana? You can count them. All right, but we need a lot to train a lot of people. I mean, with that level, that compassion, that empathy. I mean, we need to train a lot of people to do that. Mental health is very important. But like I said, there are a few things you can do as a person to try and help you out. All right. I mean, you could do. I mean, normally on a hard day, if you're at work, and once you start seeing me taking in a deep breath, you know that I'm getting the point where I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting stressed. So you normally say that 4, 7, 8. So you take in a deep breath for 4 minutes, you hold it out for 7 minutes, and you through your nose, and you breathe it out slowly over 8 minutes. What you are doing is that at that point in time, you are telling your body that you are relaxed, you're okay. The body should stop secreting adrenaline. All right. Because adrenaline is for flight and stuff. So when you're in that state, your body secretes adrenaline. So when you do that breathing exercise, you are telling your body to take it easy. I am okay. So you see me a lot. I just taking my deep breath and exhale slowly. You're taking a deep breath and exhale slowly. That calms you down. We need that a lot. We need that exercise a lot. And also, we also need to take, our health seriously. I believe that the best thing you can do for yourself as a person is to have an annual checkup on your birthday. That's your best birthday.
Dr. Esther of Bunkata also said this.
You can't forget.
Why should I go and check my health status on my birthday?
That is the best thing you can do for yourself.
I want to chill. I'm okay in the house. So the pastries so
let me say something.
Of all the days in my life.
Okay, so let's say that if you decide that, so in the morning you go and have do all the checks and everything, and you come and have your party or whatever, then later you get the results. I want something that you cannot forget. It's stick there. If you decide that the week of your birthday you have your lab work done, let's do it. It's very important. And we also need quality sleep. It's very important.
That's
Quality
true.
sleep is also very important. You sleep, you have a proper digital curfew, you go to bed, you sleep very well, you wake up, you are refreshed, and you are ready to go. And you also need a little bit of exercise in the system, get your body active, and you also need a very good network, social network. That is very important. You have friends that you can go and vent out with and tell them what is going on. They can understand you. You talk over things, and so that is important. So you need, the breathing exercise is important. You take your health seriously, your annual checkups, and you need a little bit of a physical activity, and then a very, very good social network. It's very important.
It's been an insightful conversation, actually. I'm enjoying every bit of it, and just when you are enjoying it, time is not on your side, actually. But maybe let me do the last two messages. Okay. This person sent in the message early on, the Bonti Benjamin. It says that the spread of STDs in the youth front is so disheartening and dangerous for the future of the nation. The appropriate state agencies should act fast before things get out of hand. And tied to that, this message here from Francis here in Accra says that, hi Charles, it's worrying to hear the number of people who are affected by the medical test of our young ones going into our security services. We understand about 1,300 of them, 1,300 of them, HIV cases. Now, it's time parents make their children do virginity test every vacation and when they complete senior high school, and to warn their children in senior high schools and universities about the lifestyles and things they do not. Okay, it's a bit messy there, but generally,
I understand where they're coming from. So let me tell you something. I made this statement somewhere. I think that Ghana, we are becoming a country of alcoholics and sex addicts.
Wow.
All right, it's just too much. Look, tell me a country in this world that sells more aphrodisiacs than Ghana. And what do we use aphrodisiacs for? To enhance sex. We are too obsessed with sex in this country. All right, and all these herbal products and all this. Look, you have high blood pressure. You go see your physician. He writes a medication for you. Some people refuse to take the medication because they think that it will affect your sexual life. Will you rather die or have a cardiovascular accident, have a stroke, compared with having sex? Now, if your drug doesn't even work for you, go back to your physician, tell him this drug is not working, tell your pharmacist it's not working. There are so many other options available to you, but there's something basically wrong with us as a people when it comes to sex. We are too crazy about it. It's like our life is all about sex. All right, so I can understand where the STD cases are high and everything, and also think that the level of hypocrisy in this country is just too much. The level of hypocrisy. Look, I'm a pharmacist into public health, and harm reduction is my way of looking at it. Okay. Let me give you a typical example. We know prostitution happens in this country. You can't run away from it. You know where they are. All right, but if I had my own way out, all those prostitutes, I'll provide them with condoms, I'll provide them with the KY jelly, I'll provide them with everything they need. I'll provide them with access to go and do a checkup every 2 or 3 months consistently.
How would they do it?
Look, if you decide to do it,
that I'm not cutting you, Prof. But I've done stories on some of these, events, and some of these prostitutes tell you that it's only God who takes care of us.
But you see, that is where the hypocrisy is I'm talking about. But we start labeling it. The stigma there comes in, and people think that by helping them and trying to make sure that you control and regulate and make sure that we are not saying that prostitution is not acceptable in this country. But would you rather not protect those people than to let them get HIV and transfer it to your children in the future? What exactly are we thinking about there? I will provide it for them, and I'll make sure once it becomes a common thing, they know that they can do. They can just go and do their test somewhere, and they know they are clean, and the people are using. Make condoms available. Let people use condoms. But we think that by making all those things available, we are encouraging people. Whether you provide it or not, they are going to do it. So if you don't provide, they go and do it. That's what ends up with the HIVs.
Prof, it's good having you on the program, but maybe the last one. I see you are typing again, but let me just chip in this question so Prof can address it before we go. It says that, please, Prof, what advice would you give someone who is addicted to sex? Let's do this briefly.
What is addicted? you
unaddict yourself.
Yeah, but you know what? I like the fact that somebody says he's addicted to sex. We need counselors. You need counseling. That's what we need. You need a counselor. You need to speak to a counselor, somebody about it. And I mean, look, is people are trained to do that, and I'm sure you get some help from that from a counselor. I would say that.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Victor Wuto. He's a pharmacist and he's a man of many colors. He's wearing many coat of many colors. That reminds me, Dolly Parton. And we've been having a conversation for the past 1 hour plus. We've been having a conversation about you and I. Hey, there are a lot of questions coming in. Prostitution has been glamorized. Hook up. Anyway, Prof, it's good having you. This has been an insightful, engaging conversation. I should say that it's been an eye-opener for myself, and listening to you and all of the things that affect our health, our well-being as a people, our health and what have you. I think that for a lot of the listeners out there, I mean, they've been educated this morning. But let me thank you so very much for your time with us this morning. I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we're having such a conversation. I mean, periodically we'll have you in studio so we talk about issues as and when they come up. But so grateful for your company this morning.
Thank you so very much. I'm happy to be here and to share knowledge with your listeners, and then I'm available. We can talk anytime.
Right.
Thank you.
That's Professor Victor Wuto, who is a pharmacist. And even as we wrap up the morning show this morning, are you ready to reveal your fortune? Reveal Scratch for Win is here to change your life for good. Just dial *850*5# and win up to 1 million Ghana cedis or more in cash prizes instantly. It's easy, it's exciting, and it's regulated by the National Lottery Authority. So just dial *850*5# and you choose your station to play the game on IE Class FM. You select stake amount between 5 Ghana cedis and 2,000 Ghana cedis. Choose your lucky card option out of 5. Confirm gameplay and enter your Momo pin. Receive your game results and win it instantly. It's easy, fun, and exciting. So get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Revolve Scratch for Win up to 1 million Ghana cedis up for grabs. So the short code is *850*5# and Revolve Scratch for Win. Scratch keke Nedi Sika say bam. And on that note, that's where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the Class Morning Show. I hope you got educated. It's been good having you for company. And of course, to all those who called, all those who texted this morning, it's good having you for company this morning. Let me say thank you to Osafo Vanderpoy, my able producer this morning. And thank you very much, Professor Victor Wuto. And thanks to you also for doing the listening. And I'm leaving now. Up next is going to be the 10 a.m. news bulletin. My name is Charles Akrofi, starting for Kwame Dwomoh-Agyemang. You want to stick and stay here on Class 91.3 FM. Lot of stories, a lot of goodies, a lot of programs coming your way right